Freedom 35, 5.
Dude, start the podcast.
Wow.
You recording, Gordon?
Gordon.
All right, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Freedom 35ers, Cardano NFT podcast, episode 20. Technically episode 21 for all the OGs out there. My name is Tommy. I go by TLWMY.
My name is TJ. I go by Lazy T.
And I am the other Tom. I go by Lavish Bear.
And tonight, squash sweater.
I do something for Jacket Potato.
Jacket Potato and squash sweater out here. Killing it. He last week he roasted you. He's like, man, guys, can't wait to see. He's like, God, can't wait to see what Tom's gonna be today. Oh, Tom, yawn. That's it.
I fucking laughed. That was funny.
What timing too? Because we're always like, does anyone even understand what the fuck we're talking about when we say our Zoom names? It doesn't show up in the video. It's just something that's on Zoom that we can see. And then sure enough, the one week I don't change my name is one that he's actually like, let's see what Tom does this week.
Yawn. He's all right, turn the episode off, yo. So today we got a nice one. We got squash sweater for Jacket Potato. You got T Jizzle on the mic out there throwing it back. And then you got Iron Man What Boy over here. That's a throwback to our Justice. Yeah. Our throwback to our Justice League days when we were rappers.
The high school soccer days, yeah.
Yo, guys, I hear for the OGs out there, episode 21. We're legal. We can crush some brewskis with our age this day. I mean, 21 episodes is fucking how many? 21 weeks.
That's wild. At least in the States. I mean, we got quite a few overseas fans. I mean, they're not as
18, right?
But yeah, they're not as behind the US. They can drink at 18 over there, but yep, legal in the States.
Let's go. 21. That's crazy.
I mean, it would have been 22, but we had to take a break for somebody. I don't know why though.
I don't even remember what episode was that. That was just a week off, right?
Christmas, New Year's, yeah.
Yeah. We needed 1 week off. We've been pretty consistent on the schedule. Dude, yeah. So going into this upcoming week, we've had a lot going on as usual. As always, we got a lot of news to fit in tonight. We got a special segment coming up later in the episode, and wanted to kind of kick it off in the beginning out here. If you're watching the stream right now or watching the show, you can see I got some new swag we're rocking out there for the Yummi universe right now. Shout out to my new hoodie. I think this is going to become like a new thing for me. I'm just going to
get a spin around. Let's see the back of that thing. Let's see the back of that thing.
I'll do you one even crazier. You want to see something wilder?
Okay, boom, the whole setup here. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, boom. You got the back right there.
He's got the little side lead looking away like, damn.
Bro, did you see that model pose right there? I was like, go.
That's what I'm saying.
I was like, babe, just go. Boom. Hit me to the side right there. And she goes, can you stop? I'm done taking pictures of you.
That's actually funny.
She's like, I'm done. I was like, I need the editor app. I need to make the color nice. She's like, dude, I'm done with you. Like, just here you go. Go post.
Give me your damn phone. That's all I'm doing. I'm not editing shit.
She's like, you want the little delicious guy? What's the name? Yummy. I'm like, yes.
Delicious.
Oh, dude, shout out to Yummi, that team over there.
I didn't know she said that. That's really funny.
I don't know if she said that. I could have been just making her sound funnier. But yeah, I got the swag in finally over from the Yummi team over there. I know a lot of people have been doing these. So yeah, they came
super
all nice
fast
and packaged
too.
Up. Yeah,
I was impressed how fast you got that.
That was the first time I bought anything in British pounds. Just did the conversion for from the US.
How heavy was it?
I think it was like 15 British pounds, to get it over here. So in US, I don't know what that weight equates to. A little more than 15.
How many stone is that?
How many stone?
Yeah, we came over on maybe by boat, bought some knots, I don't know. But no, dude, the Yummi came nice and packaged. They gave me a little sticker. You can see it in the thing right here, and boom, got it right here as well.
Damn, oh, nice. Okay.
That look really nice on the
That makes more sense. All right. I was like, why is there just Yummi Universe in the middle of it? Kind of throws it off there. It's a sticker. All right.
I don't know where I'm going to do that yet. I have no idea.
Maybe I'll just put it on your work computer.
I'll just stick it right in the front right there.
Yeah.
For everybody to see what the hell is Yummi Universe, dude. It's that delicious place.
Just right. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
That's the Grumpy Bunny. Real quick shout out though too for Yummi Universe, because I was scrolling through their stuff. They've been dropping. We're still waiting for their paper right now. Their blue paper, light paper, what do you want to call it? But they've been dropping some work in progress sketches for some stuff too out here. as the world's starting to kind of evolve. I think our launch pad is built like back somewhere behind one of these castles somewhere. I swear. I know it's going to be there somewhere. But the concept art, they're starting to drop more and more teasers. I think they even did like a sketch of it prior to this. So it's kind of cool to see where this is starting from, where it's starting to kind of progress to, and then eventually we're going to get the actual like meta. I wonder if this is going to be like 3D-ish, or if it's going to be more like that 2D map style, like kind of like what the game looks like, more like on the original screenshot, like we looked right here.
Yeah.
Even the 2D one, like the depth to it, with the foreground and background, it has a lot of depth. They're getting a lot of detail. I mean, he's definitely, I know he's working hard and, putting in the hours for the detail. I'm sure that he's just constantly tweaking David over there at Yummi.
He's been crushing it, man. But I love the design. It feels like definitely like UK kind of vibes to it a little bit, right?
Yeah,
100%.
It's a little bit inspired by that. At least you can at least it feels like that. You got a little
London
castle
Bridge
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, the London Bridge. You got Big Ben just sitting somewhere over there. And now shout out to Yummi. Shout out to these this swag. I need to get some more stuff, but I don't know. I'm gonna go walk around. People are gonna be like, "The hell's that Yummi stuff in the back?" We're just gonna represent
The delicious guy.
What's that delicious guy? No. But yeah, shout out to that. I just had to go. I get new swag onto the show. I got the Clay Nation, I got the Yummi, and then the next one I'm waiting for is the Heartbreak Club. Waiting for that t-shirt to come through one day. Big announcement, Cardano community, our Cardano Poppy, our guest we had on a few weeks ago, FutureFest, the FutureBots, they have, they put these NFT events on, and they're going to be having like headliners and DJs and stuff like that.
Concerts, yeah.
Well, he was teasing this for a while. He's like, guys, I can't wait to tell you. It wasn't Steve Aoki, but he's like, I can't tell you who it was yet. And finally, they dropped the announcement of who their first Grammy nominated EDM artist Kaskade is going to be the first headliner for their virtual event on April 14th. That's going to be insane, dude. Like that's a huge name. Like I did not expect this at all. Like
nothing close to that. Not even close.
Not even in the like the slightest, because I'm not sure how connected these guys are, but he was basically saying like, yo, these guys are pretty well connected in the space. They're gonna have some cool partnerships lined up. So if you're starting off with Kaskade like that, it makes me really excited for where the future of this can really go. FutureFest, where the future of this could go. But one of the cool things to Kaskade, I don't know, he's got over 1 million followers over here on Twitter. And I know Kaskade outside of like some like EDM stuff back in the day. They do like EDC over here.
Pretty sure that was your Pursuit of Diamond. He was on your Pursuit of Diamond playlist back when you were getting that diamond in
on Call of Duty Black Ops
2. Yeah, maybe Black Ops 2.
Back in the day. Still got that playlist going. And then now he's on
1997.
Yeah, right. Throw it back. No, now he's also on Rocket League. I play a lot of Rocket League, and Kaskade's got some stuff on there. I usually listen to that. So, shout out to the team over there for getting somebody like that. That's insane. That's crazy news, and that's cool that they're going to be bringing that first off to the Cardano blockchain. The even better part of that is if you own one of the deluxe bots, not the regular future bot, but the deluxe bot, you are going to get a free Kaskade NFT airdropped to your wallet. So that's going to be the first Kaskade NFT on the Cardano blockchain. So that's also got some weight to it as well. So if you guys are looking to pick up any of the future bots, maybe consider picking up the deluxe bot. I think the floor shot back up to like over like mid price on there, like about 150 ADA right now, which still isn't even a bad price if you think about like basically it's like your ticket into these virtual worlds where you can like interact, like we showed off weeks ago with this stuff. You're able to like virtually like move around while the concert's going on in the background. And the fact that you're getting an actual airdrop with Kaskade for this, I mean, that's insane. So.
I just couldn't believe, like, it's such a cool concept, live concerts and stuff. And I wouldn't say not the biggest EDM fan, just not maybe the biggest, like well versed with the artist. It's kind of, I'll put my robot ear sometimes and play that just in the background on Spotify and stuff like that. But it's usually just playing. So I don't necessarily know a lot of the artists that I'm listening to. I just have like the songs on and I'll even throw them in playlists if I like them. But that, like, for them to get someone that I instantly knew the name was very surprising to me. I just didn't think they were going to go that big so fast. No. So that's very encouraging too, to see like where they're going to take this from here.
Oh, they got a lot of eyes on them once this drops, because hopefully Kaskade goes ahead and promotes some of this stuff too as well. Because again, you got a 1 million eyes looking at this. Cardano or FutureFest has got 3,800 followers on Twitter right now. So you can imagine the exposure once this concert drops on April 14th. I'll be there. I got one of my deluxe spots which I went ahead and grabbed, which also because they partnered with Benjamin's group, I was able to get whitelisted into the FutureBot sale. So another reason to be part of the Benjamin's group with those.
Well, eggs. Look at you.
Hey, I can't. I'm telling you guys, here's what to do.
I'm
Just
broke.
go do this. I'm broke. No, dude. I think everybody's broke right now with the way everything's looking in this market. We had a lot of the mints that happened this past weekend, and just kind of going through some of the news. One of the other metaverses that dropped, the play to stake metaverse we talked about, Metadams, the Beavers.
Finally, yeah. Beaver's got the land.
The Beavers got the land. They dropped on this past weekend, and the minting price, I guess the minting mechanic, if you were in the whitelist, was very nice and smooth. You got to choose, like they gave you the map, and inside the map, you went ahead and actually got a chance to pick where you wanted to mint. And people, apparently, I talked to some people in there. They're like, yeah, you went ahead and it was really easy. Like people were talking, like helping each other out too. Like, yeah, I got a land here. You can grab this land here. They were like working with each other. Well, it was nice for anybody who did that. But the people who were in the public mint, like me, I didn't get a chance to get in there. There was a select number of lands left over after the fact. And so it was basically like everything like over here and then kind of like over in this area. And the way that it worked, it was like first come, first serve. So you pretty much like as soon as the timer dropped, everybody just selected, added to your cart, and then basically sign your transaction. And whoever got through first got that land. And basically what happened to me was I went for a decent one like over here, missed out and got beat out. And then after that, every single one I went for, I got beat out.
Me too. I was like, son of a bitch. Every time I clicked on one, it was already gone. I'm like, what just happened? Where did it go?
I was like, how are they doing this? It's so quick. So basically, if you like didn't get your first transaction, I feel like you just missed out on everything. It was really like, it was tough, but it was definitely an interesting mint method. I haven't seen anything like that. It was kind of cool.
For land, like a land sale to choose your spot.
It was kind of intense. So I kind of liked like the thrill of it a little bit. Like I was like, all right, I'm gonna go grab this one. But then after I got beat out, I'm like, man,
I did, and I sucked at it. I didn't like it at all. It was bad.
Well, it was just crazy to kind
of like a big game of musical chairs.
It's just exactly what it was. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Well, yeah, basically like musical chair. That's a fucking great analogy. Yeah, so I watched as all this map just slowly just got dark and grayed out, and I was like, all right, sick. I'm out on the secondary, and these things were minting for 75 ADA. So what I ended up doing though, it's paper, I don't know, because you see these coordinates when they're going to sell, and people list them on like JPEG store or whatever it is. You can't see like where it is on the map. So I had the map up on one side, and I'm just like searching around, like trying to find like a waterfront lot. I got lucky, and I went ahead and actually like snagged this little land plot right here for 140 ADA. So only a little less than double the mint price, or double the mint price. So I'm sitting around just hanging out with that, and we'll see what happens. But you were able to get some good deals on a secondary too.
I was going to say, now's the time to snipe in the market in general. Like
it's
not a flip and zip time right now. The ADA so low, it's kind of just keep an eye out for good projects you can snipe in on, because people are trying to get their ADA back.
Right now, it's store and hoard. We'll call it, instead of zip and flip. We got to store and hoard right now because there's too much. We got a hibernation we're going through inside this market, I think. But yeah, I think definitely land sales too, especially in this place. That play to stake mechanic, they have really good partnerships, which we had talked about a while after, and I think that they're going to do, I don't know. I mean, anything's speculative at this point, but this one is one of the ones that I'm kind of really actually curious to, because they do have some cool people inside the community, and not just in the CNFT community. They actually have people inside the Cardano community. So it might be a good, like you said, a good time to check it out if you haven't already.
I'm definitely going to take a peek at the secondary for sure, because I do want one.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's always beneficial, I think, to talk, if we all these different metaverses, I'd rather be kind of spread out into all of them rather than just be hyper focused into one, because one of these guys is going to come out and do really well, probably, or you hope that one of them is going to do well. But again, you don't want to be the one that like I missed out. I'm like, shit, man, I got into all of these, but not this one. Right.
You're right.
And these guys they're still hovering like the floor for these things is still at 98 right now as of this recording on a Wednesday. So, I mean, you're still above mint price, worst case scenario. So you're still up right now. So,
which is big for how many they sold, like a land sale. So
there wasn't too many of them out there. I think what was their total of 6,200 total they have minted right now out of all the land. So it's not bad, but I like Metadams. I was able, wasn't able to unfortunately get in on a mint, but was able to go ahead and actually grab where I placed where I wanted to be, which I kind of liked anyway after the fact. So, shout out to anybody on JPEG store looking to snipe. Go ahead and make sure you're looking at this map before you start doing those things.
When are you getting your beavers?
My beavers, I don't know if I'm gonna get the beavers yet, because I kind of want to use my Yummi inside the metaverse, which he showed like the Chonk Naru that was out there last week. Yeah. So instead of getting the beavers, I'm gonna go, because they either need one of two things. You need the beavers or you need the land in order to participate in there. So you can stay. I'm curious how the staking of your land is going to work inside of here, and how that's going to like generate. I'm assuming that, you know, if everybody's doing their own token, they're doing some in-game resource you're going to get for staking. And how it's going to interact.
Where the darker green spots on the map are shown here, there's, you know, the grass is green, and then there's darker spots. Is that like forest or?
That's cliff.
Cliff. Okay.
Yeah, it's a cliffhanger. You know, never know. I don't know what the answer is to that. But no, yeah, it looks okay. So they got like seafront properties, and they have on the main island, they do have like that inner circle, which I don't know if any of these plots have sold yet over here. So okay. I think most of that stuff is on the outer, like the inner and the outer circle.
Okay, cool.
So we'll see what happens on these guys, but I want to shout out Metadams for dropping. Congrats on the sellout, and go check them out if you're looking for a play to stake metaverse. Another one to check out. Another one of the weekend sales, which was one of my favorite, it turned out to be one of my favorites, was Knfty World that we went ahead and talked about last weekend as well. They went ahead and minted. They had 88,800 of these things, and they sold out through the weekend. And I just thought the quality of these looked super, super nice. Like after the more I clicked on them and kind of started seeing them mint, like they had some really cool looking ones.
I liked them more and more as I was watching them mint on Pool PM. I didn't actually mint one myself personally, but I was watching. I was like, man, those are really cool looking.
Don't they look really well? Like I think the art, as far as the artwork goes, I mean, I think it's really well done. As far as like the quality goes.
Yeah, it's high resolution. They look good. Like I know we've said this, and I hate comparing kind of projects, but it's just what it reminds me or jumps out to me is that just the Voodoo Brigada kind of style, that like very high resolution, high quality, the textures even to it to some degree, like the clothing and things like that reminds me somewhat of the Voodoo Brigada. I will say I do like kind of the knit look and the and then those parts they brought in, like the one you just showed had a Bane mask on, the other one was a Predator, and I kind of like those kind of things, make them a little more fun for me, and kind of add a little extra like personality where you can really connect with one is what I like in those kind of attributes.
They all look jack too, because the knits, the Knfty.
Well, right. They all look right. They look nice and swole. I know for me, like some of these people weren't really, and you could have picked these up really well, because as they were minting, like you see that happen a lot right now, because they hadn't sold out yet. So people were, you know, if they didn't get the one they wanted, they were kind of putting the floor back to like a 45, like, or right just below like 40 on there. Because I think the whitelist minted for like 48 on there. I think the public was 60. And people were putting them back down so they could get back into the project. And I mean, some of these, they're super like cool looking, and they're not even necessarily the rarest ones out there, but they all look really unique. I really enjoyed the way they all looked.
I love the backgrounds that are like made of yarn, the ones that actually look like they're like stitched or whatever. That is a very cool look too. That adds like an extra layer to backgrounds we haven't really seen. You know, we have seen cool backgrounds before, but the fact they kept it on the like nifty sewing kind of theme looks really cool. Was that a Doc Ock?
They did have a Doc Ock.
Damn, I didn't even catch it. That's sick.
Yeah. That's sick. The Knfty's definitely one to keep an eye out for. They have a good community over there. And the more I look at them and actually see the artwork, like they're super high quality. I'm a big fan of what they're doing. I minted one of them over there this past weekend, and
the right one, right? You got
it was all right. You know,
you got a floor one, right?
It wasn't too bad. You know, like, you know, just kind of, it looked crazy looking to me. Like it does have that threaded background, right?
It does.
Yeah. And it's got the AK with the little laser snipes. Like it's like that second tier. It's not one of the legendary ones. It's like it's a lot more rare one, I guess, technically, at least according to the unofficial rankings.
The old sailor,
the old sailor. I haven't zoomed in this close at all.
That's what I'm saying. The texture to him like reminds me of Voodoo Brigada. Like you can go all the way in and see like the full texture of like the material, and that's how the Voodoo's reminding me. Like you can see the clothing. Really, really good. It looks amazing.
All right, I did not zoom in that close onto it. That looks actually really, really good. They did a great job on that.
Oh, they look fantastic. Yeah. Especially when you pull up like the, you know, you're not looking at them even on Twitter. Like when you pull up the actual like Pool PM image, they look great.
Well, dude, shout out to Knfty World, because I'm definitely, I got to do a little more research into like what the long-term plan for them is. I know they dropped some they've been posting a lot inside the Discord, and I just haven't caught really up. I guess they're going into like a phase 2 where rebates, DAO governance, another airdrop. And then eventually, I guess, a PvP game is down the line. So
Oh, that's cool.
We'll see what happens. I mean, games and all that stuff is one thing. I like the racing aspect would be kind of cool if they were able to do that, different mini games and stuff like that.
Where's Altano? He'll be happy.
Yeah, one race.
Get
when we racing our
races.
Knfties.
Yeah.
You know. So shout out to Knfty World. What they're doing out there, it was really cool artwork. I haven't seen something like that in a while, where all of them just really unique. And they have the assets and everything they do. All the randomization even looks really well. They did a really good job. So shout out to their team. Moving on from there, we had our other one, which you didn't get a chance to talk about on the podcast. It kind of snuck up on me. Was from the attack on Vitalik. I want to so if I can butcher that name, Bajuzki. That's gonna be my final answer on that. I minted one of these back in the day, the attack on Vitalik, the comics. That was one of the early ones. I looked back at the date on it. It was from August 31st of last year. So like early into my career.
It's like 10 years ago.
Dude, for real.
Cardano time.
So they went ahead and started doing this like 10K like vampire like mint over there. And they had some really cool like one-of-ones built in for like community projects, like you're seeing like the Ada Goat right here. But they like the artwork was really well done. They have like a cool comic style artwork.
Vitalik style, yeah, I really like it. That attack on Vitalik.
I definitely saw this just got happened this past week. I guess a dino, one of the rare dinos got minted over there. So they have some cool stuff. They got a little lazy llama mixed in as well. All of them look like super nice. Like I know like the Joker, they have all these pets, like it's even like the eyes and stuff. It has that comic book style feel to them over there.
Right. The shading, it really does. The line work and the shading, especially on that one, like on his arms and his sweater, it's very comic book and I like it a lot.
Yeah, they all look very, very clean. So they had 10,000 of these things mint. I know a lot of people inside the community, especially some OGs, were, grabbing a bunch of these. I was able to actually get a free one because I had the comic book. So I was able to claim and get one free NFT. And then I ended up buying back in. I think they were like a 40 ADA for the pre-sale. So if you were in the 2,500 club, you had access to the pre-sale. So they did some tributes. Like we said, we have some of the 8 projects. You got a Dead Pixel one right here. I know they had the Chilled Kong one was super cool looking to me.
I love the Dead Pixel too. Just a cardboard box on his head. Yeah, Dead Pixel. That one's fantastic.
They look so
cool,
good.
Creative twist.
I'm curious too, because like I have to go back to the CNFT tools to go ahead and find it. But the Chill Kong version of those things looked really well too. But it was just a really cool like surprise inside this place. And that, I mean, even the 8, that's so good. The Goat Tribe from the 8, he's got the Hobbs. Okay, so that's awesome, man. But these are super cool, and I had to shout them out. But one of the things that just wanted to mention as after these things have been minting was like this 3D. There's more so like if you are a fan of Borderlands, they went ahead and posted this little like video up right here. And it's definitely got like that cell
that's cool.
like shading to it, like definitely Borderlands style.
It does like Borderlands, yeah.
So I don't know what the long-term plan for these things are, but obviously it's something's going on here outside of just being like that little profile pic. So definitely something to keep an eye on. I can't remember if they're still minting right now. I have to go back and look as we're going into this, but I know at one point they definitely were like each tier, I guess, as they're buying right now. So they're at 6,000 out of 10,000 right now. And each tier as it hits, they're doing like airdrops of ADA and different like prizes and stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. So you can go pick one up on, as we're currently talking about this, we'll see what happens. No, I'm not doing that right now. But yeah, shout out to, the team over there for doing something unique that kind of came out of nowhere for me. Something I forgot about and was able to jump back into.
Still alive in it.
Yeah, we saw it on Discord, Tommy. You just kind of post that up and it's like, it's just so much going on. You're always bound to miss something, but it's just such a cool project that I was surprised to not have seen that.
Yeah, and it was definitely an OG type of project too. It isn't just like a brand new project coming into the space. These guys have been around for a while, so
they partnered with so many people too. They did that like Cardano man picture, and I forget who they were sitting there at like the talk show host table and stuff. Like they've been around since I've been around. Which isn't crazy long, but yeah. Still,
I mean, it's amazing. I really enjoy their artwork over there. Yeah, so shout out to these guys. So I guess they're going for like a game design. So dope.
I was gonna say, when you see this too, now you're like really gotten my attention because I had not seen that, and until you had sent it, and I'm like, oh well, now they got like 3D artists working for them and animators. Like, where are they taking this? This is like a whole nother step from what I was thinking it would be. I just thought it was a cool vampire profile picture kind of project. They had some shout outs to other projects and kind of incorporated them. But then you see this and it's like, what do you guys have planned?
I don't know. They got a vampire breakdance competition, something like that. Just crushing it right now. Or they're going into the next Borderlands. So we'll see what happens.
We just get served.
Hey, we just you crush us
Got F
right
in the
now.
A.
You sucker just got served.
F in the A, bro. Well, I mean, moving this past week, right? Like with all these different mints that we've had. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's the market is down. We know that, right? Everything just in general, and Cardano has been pushing down to like the mid 80s like cent range, which is absolutely insane. And definitely something I'm continuing to pick up as each Bay week happens. Definitely continuing to load up a little bit. Because you think back a few months ago, we were pushing over $3. So this is on a super discount to me because I'm planning to be here long term. But a curious question with all these different mints coming in, obviously these projects are taking a hit now too, especially established ones who have already sold out. What are you guys feeling like on some of the new like minting prices? Like with prices, do you think some of these guys are now starting to increase mint prices? I saw some of the like recent projects are starting to consider like 60 to 80 ADA out here, which sounds a little scarier because back in the day that was a little bit more money, but nowadays they're just adjusting for that price. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I mean, I think it's a good way to move the space forward. We were talking about that off podcast a little bit last week, and I think if we want to, as a space, to be taken a little more serious, to increase the price just a little bit, because Ethereum, I think the base price of most of those projects is like, I'm giving a rough estimate, $300 to $500 just to mint their project. I'm not talking Ethereum, I'm talking dollars. So 80 to 100 or 60 to 100 ADA right now, that's less than $100 for even 100 ADA right now.
Yeah.
So I still think that's a very good deal to get in on a project.
And it kind of averages out too, because you're right, Tom. I see it and I'm like, this is a cool project, but 80 ADA, I don't know if I want to get into it for that. But that's because I'm broken in my head and I'm seeing ADA at like 220, like I was remembering from October. So when you think about it, we were minting stuff for 45 ADA when that was worth $90 to $100. Now, if you mint something for $60, you're still only, $48, or, it's even less than you would have been minting when you were minting back in October and September. So it kind of is a little like, oh, wow, it's a lot of ADA at first. If you're one of those that you don't care what the price ADA is, you just care that you have the ADA because you have the, you believe in it for the future. But if it's really a good time. I mean, it's tougher when you're selling things. If you would have bought the ADA, in October at 220. But if you're kind of looking to get into some new stuff, since ADA is on a fire sale, you could be like, yeah, I'm gonna throw $50 in this and getting this mint for 78 or whatever.
Well, it's curious too, because you do the math on it. Like we're sitting at like an 85 cents for like an 85 like or ADA or whatever. That's like $70 or whatever it is. That was 35 ADA. Back when everything was $2, like $2, like so 35 ADA min, I was jumping in those all the time.
Yeah, 50 ADA is like 50 ADA is just not like the normal price, and you're spending 120 dollars US. Whereas now you look at it and it's like, 80 ADA, that seems a little steep for this, and it's like you're just like $60. Like
you got to look at like where we're at in the market, right? So definitely, I think the more the OGs are probably looking at it more like, hold on, like what's going on with all these prices? And then, the new people coming into it on these other chains are just like, all right, it's like $70. Sounds good. That's a super, it's cheap price. They could be charging, like 240 ADA and we'd still be cool with that.
In fact, to what you said, TJ, like it's under $100, even if it was 100 ADA, like before December, I don't think we minted anything where we spent under 100 US just because of like how expensive, like because ADA was above $2. So pretty much everything was, maybe I guess there was some like 40, 45 ADA and stuff like that. So it'd be $90 or whatever, but they were still all around right there at $100. Where I mean, now if something had 100 ADA mint price, or imagine like Equine or something like that, how much cheaper that would seem now that ADA is lower. If they did actually come out and mint still at 250, I'm sure they would increase it though too. They got to kind of match that to pay themselves their dev work and all the time they put in, at least to these quality projects. You want to see that return somewhat.
And I think we talked about a few podcasts ago, like I still view ADA as like ADA, like whatever ADA is, I don't care. Like however much ADA I have, that's what ADA is to me. So I don't, but on the other side of it, I understand that like ADA is low right now. So it is really still a good deal, even if a project does 60 to 100.
It's definitely a good buyer's market right now. If you're, if you've made your money, made some money, or if you're planning on, you did well and are holding on to some stuff and some savings, it's the perfect time to jump into it. Possibly. I mean, probably dollar cost average into this, because it seems, we may, with everything going on in the world right now, it could continue to drop. I've heard, prices getting down to like 50 cents and stuff like that. And, talks of stuff like that. I'm not saying it will, but that, I mean, obviously if I loaded up all my stuff at, 80 cents and dropped down to 50, that sucks because I could have got a way better deal. So make sure you're dollar cost averaging if you're doing that. And then on top of that, right now, this is a great time because if you're a zip and flipper right now, you're not probably doing too well. It's very hard to sell. I know I've had some stuff listed up over the past weekend, and I was able to do some stuff. And now they just sit, and I haven't sold anything in like days just because nobody's buying,
or at least what you want to sell at. What you see as like value.
Yes.
Yeah, you could get it for floor, but some of these projects, you're like, I know that this is worth more, and I kind of want the ADA now, but it just seems like a shame to like let it go for so little. When if it doesn't sell right now, I'll wait the 2 months and hopefully get the value it has in it, because it just sucked when you actually have to cut out a project because you need that ADA for something else to mint or something.
Yeah, it's a tough life to be a zip and flipper right now. Like I said, we're like a store and hoarder instead.
Store and hoarder.
Your store hoarder. But no, I think also a great time too if you're looking to snipe some good opportunities out in the set. You want to load up in projects that you are like long term in. Now is a great time to go ahead and do that as well, because people are sometimes get that fear that that FUD that happens from this stuff. They're like, all right, I got to get out of here. This is going to continue to go down. That's a perfect opportunity for people right now to load up,
especially if you're buying to snipe, because if you look at the project that had a 55 ADA floor when it minted in October. Those guys were spending over $100 to buy that at the time, 100 US. Now you can buy that ADA fresh right now and, get it for 60 ADA, but, you're spending significantly less than you would have, even if it's close to mint price, as far as ADA is, in terms of ADA, you're getting it as far as the cash dollar value, much cheaper. So you can get some really good deals. So, I mean,
for sure. I think it's an interesting question, and we kind of like raised it last night, even on a Taco Tuesday, of like, what are your projects right now with ADA being low that you're going after? I mean, if I had, like I said, my one answer that I'm looking at right now is Yummi Universe. I'm very, very excited for that. And right now there's some still great deals before all the news and everything comes out, with their blue paper and stuff that they have. And we know they're going to, continue to have their marketplace and the game later this year and the staking mechanism. That's obviously a shout out to the Yummi Universe. That's something that I'm looking for in this downtrend. I don't know about you guys. What are you guys looking at? If you are accumulating anything, what will you be going after?
Spacebudz, dead pixels, maybe a berry. I got my eyes on. They're pretty cheap right now. No, I'm trying to get on my swoopy train here so I can get ready for this spring release. I know we're just sitting here refreshing the Twitter every single day, waiting for some announcement on that.
Right.
So that's definitely what I'm looking at. Even if I don't maybe burn a lot, just the idea that I think that when they finally make that announcement, it might be a little bump and people will start perps them again. So even if it's buy a few of them and just making 10 to 15 ADA on some quick flips to add a little extra and then get my couple burns so that I get the new holiday. I'm looking to do something like that right now.
Nice.
Yeah, as far as a passive income NFT goes, I definitely would be interested in getting the dead pixel and some more Ghostchains for sure. I think
that's for real one though. Yeah,
because they're still right now as well. And of course, Yummies. I love Yummy. I want to get more Yummies myself, but those are the three I think I would be getting if I had the ADA.
You need to flip around some stuff for those dead pixels, because even still, they're still expensive, man. But they're still sitting like over 2,000 ADA floor even in this market. So I don't know. Those are all great projects, and it's definitely a great time if you have something long term that you want to be in, and you've been waiting to kind of sit back and see where everything lands. Now might be a good time to go ahead and jump in. One of the big things, like one of the most anticipated projects, which we started talking about over here, is Overexposed. These guys, project from this guy Ren Ellis, the artist over there. He came over from the Ethereum side. He did that huge reveal stream with Cardano Thor over on Twitch. He has the community member over from 2500 Club, the 4-5 Jeff. They've got a cool team over there, and this NFT is just that artwork on these guys is insane, like quality. Dude, they look so well done. And Twitter, like you said, doesn't even do it justice because it just kills like the quality of the rendering.
Yeah, it looks terrible. Yeah. When you see it on Twitter compared to the actual Discord, so it looks good on Twitter, but then you see it on Discord and you're like, damn, this looks really good.
Like he's crushing it. He's definitely all like film inspired,
especially the animated ones too.
Yeah. Oh my God, they look so good. So we talked about it a little bit, and just to kind of give an update that since we talked about it, the Genesis tokens, these are the Mekanism Genesis tokens. There's 1,000 of these things, and these are going to be able to whitelist you into their Mekanism sale, which is what we just kind of showed over there. That's sometime dropping in like early April is what they're saying. There's only 1,000 of these things, and there's 5 different rarities, as you can see on the screen right here, with the rainbow one being the most rare. But these things shot up. Remember, I was telling you guys last week on how I was kind of like tracking the wait to get one of these things.
Well, you bought me one, right?
I bought everybody one.
Well, you were waiting. You were trying to sell stuff. You had stuff on the market that you're just waiting to flip so that you could put it into one of these because you didn't want to necessarily sink some of your like standing ADA in it.
The FOMO was getting
It
real,
just kept
but
going up.
the FOMO for everybody was getting real because this thing instead, usually after like, the FOMO initially kicks in, they have a little retracement.
Correction.
Well, this thing did not for a while. It went on days and days and days, and it shot up to, I think for me, I was always looking at it where it was like a 600 to like 650 floor for these. And then I saw it jump the day I was finally able to flip around some things, and I had like 700 and like almost 800 ADA sitting around. And the floor for these things jumped to 715 one night, and the next highest one that I could get was 788. So I jumped in, grabbed one for 715. And then right after that, I woke up the next morning and the floor was 850. And then the following day after that, they went up to 919 or something crazy. And I was like, what is going on for these things? And then finally they pulled back since then. They dropped.
No, they're 858 now again.
They're 858.
Yeah, I just checked.
Oh, yeah.
No way. I looked earlier and they jumped. No, they're at 795 is what I got right now. I don't know. They're all over the place, but they're pushing back to 800. So something just happened again. They had a little boost. But these things, dude, are I guess, besides being the whitelist, like their mechanism drop, there's 4,000 of those. I think the 1,000 of these get you, all the whitelist, it gets 1,000. So, I think there's 3,000 available to the public out there. I personally just didn't want to do that. And I wanted to, just have a guaranteed entry into the project, because I think this is, for me, is going to be one of the most anticipated projects or releases so far this year. If not, it's going to push the space into a new like realm as far as quality goes for these guys. And just in general, even the Genesis tokens, they all look really, really well done. But I don't know about you guys. What are you guys thinking? Obviously overexposed. We're all looking at it. If you obviously had Yeto, would you guys pick one up?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I
Absolutely.
love how they look. And then I think, you saw this correction, like you said, Tommy, after some of the FOMO died down, because now the people that have bought in are holders and they kind of got rid of those flippers. So I think as they get closer and as they tease the actual main drop more, I think that'll still see another little boost as it gets closer and people then see that more and gets closer. They're like, I need to get one of these, get in on this drop, because there's only 4,000 and 3,000 are public. So it's really, only 3,000. So they're going to be pretty, I think they're going to fly off the shelves, honestly, when they finally do their mints.
Yeah, I can guarantee you they're going to sell out. The demand, there's only 4,000 of them, right? Like, so they automatically know, like it's a low min count, high quality artwork. I'm sure a lot of time obviously goes into these things. And the guy Ren, it's dope that he's coming over and he's been so well received inside the community. So it's cool to see that. But then the big thing about the Genesis tokens is it's not just a whitelist token, and that's the end of it. They did have the guy 45 Jeff inside so once you get one of these things, you are able to verify your wallet and get the 35 millimeter rule, and so you get access into like a separate chat. And inside of that, the guy 45 Jeff was just like, the plan for these is not just to be a whitelist token. These are like the token to have for the future of the project. They're going to have way more utility than what we know right now, but they're not announcing anything until the mechanism sale happens, because they don't want people just to, like FOMO into this stuff and then like try to flip these things around. They want to actually like, get the people involved in the project who are actually there to be part of that project. So I don't know. I don't know what it is, but all I know is that I have one of these things now, and I'm excited to see where the future of this goes, because I'm definitely love the artwork on these.
Yeah, talented artists for
Yeah,
sure.
They're great.
Amazing artists. So moving forward to one of the new mints, which I've been hearing about, and I honestly it kind of just slipped our minds as far as discussing it out there. It was Cardolphins. This past week, I've been hearing about these guys.
They've been around forever, like
a long time,
like December,
September of 21.
Yeah,
when they first
man's been promoting them for a long time. That's kind of like, I wouldn't say his baby, but he's just he wants
very
to
passionate
it.
about
Likes
the
it.
project.
Yeah, he's passionate. Exactly. He's really into it and what they're doing. Because it's not just the NFT.
Well, they've been these guys, like I said, been around since September. I know Cardano man was out there. I guess they met up with these guys also in like Miami over at the event Miami. Fuck, what do we go down there for, Tom?
Our
Basel. Yeah. Fuck, it was down there. So they were all down there with these guys. And then when they came back, I remember them talking about it and like real talk and stuff. We're like, dude, go get yourself a Cardolphin. The team behind them, we're super excited. They have a great like initiative too, like besides them just being like a dolphin like project, like profile kind of looking project. They are like, I guess, go back to the roadmap right here. They kind of show, I guess, for every one of these that get minted, they're donating 5 ADA to the Dolphin Project, which is the world's leading dolphin nonprofit featured in like the Cove and Seaspiracy. And they also receive 1% royalty on every secondary sale forever.
That's cool.
That's
secondary
dope.
sale is really cool. That's a good thought. I like that.
Yeah, that's a cool way to go back and like give back and continue to like, give back to, things that matter to actually improve and like a real world like impact, which is dope. And to me, like one of the things I would not to like hate on anything like this is just the Dolphins. That's one of the reasons why I didn't kind of like really, they didn't like grab me as far as like a profile pick kind of like drop it. With the artwork to me just was not something I usually would go after. But after I started seeing people mint them, I started to see the difference in the traits and stuff like that. It was definitely like peaked. They got, for as creative as you can be for like Dolphins. I think they did a good job for what it was.
Oh yeah.
And like the clownfish, different ones like that. They did some cool stuff.
I didn't see cool. And the circular saw for the fin is very cool. They actually looking like through these now are very, very well done. Some of the creativity that went into the attributes on these.
The lobster.
That's cool.
They have some really cool. I like the traits. That's what one thing that really got me. And then someone in our Discord, CNFT enthusiast, or he was like, "Hey, I minted one of these things." So I went ahead and minted one. And I think it was a gold one I ended up getting, which is a rarer one.
Twister with the twister on top. I like that.
Yeah, they did some really cool ones. So I'm a big fan of what their like messages, and they've got a good car. Like I popped into the Discord for a second, and like everybody was doing really well. They were very supportive. It was just a fun little place to be. And they're still currently minting, I think, right now. I'm not sure what exactly the amount of.
I thought they sold out. No, they didn't. Okay.
No, they've got it was 5,400 of them still remaining over there. So they're like an organic kind of sale. Like, people who want, it's not going to be like an instant sellout, but they're minting. I can see this picking up steam as like time goes on, like people get more confident back in ADA, and then people are going to like FOMO back into this thing.
People start being able to flip again too and have a little ADA to spend. I think people right now have been minting into projects. I mean, so many projects come out in the past since we've been in it. I mean, every week there's a lot of projects. So people have been trying to flip stuff now for like 2 weeks, and they're not flipping so they can get their ADA back to, make a little bit of profit, hopefully, and then get into the next mint. I just think they're all tied up right now. Everything's just sitting on the stores and nothing's buying. So they maybe just don't have the ADA to throw at all these projects that have been coming out.
Yeah. Well, I think that, obviously that's a great like observation for that as well. Cause I definitely think, everybody used to, it would be like any mint that's happening out there. People were just like jumping right into it. Nowadays, like you're a little more selective with it. So
we saw that in January. We were talking about, like, we're getting into like a little bit of a bull market, like getting a little better, and things were selling out like crazy. I mean, Soho Kids, Bright Pals, all that stuff was just like selling out. You couldn't even get in on the mint. They were selling so quick. And now as ADA has gone back down, we're seeing, quite a few projects where their mint's going 3 or 4 days again, where it's taking a few days to kind of get sold out just because it takes some time for people to get their ADA together to buy them.
Yeah,
take some time to flip a flipper,
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But they're still out there right now, and I know, again, jump into the Discord, check them out. They have Cardano man's behind it, so I know it's not like a project that's gonna rug or go away or anything. Like, you got good community support behind there. They have a good real world use case that they're helping out, and I know there's some other stuff inside this roadmap which I'm not as familiar with at all. I'm sure people out there can kind of continue to educate you and help you out with what they're doing. So I just wanted to shout them out because there was another mint this weekend that got past our eyes, but wanted to go ahead and re-highlight them for over there. And then
definitely cool to see. Like, we've seen a couple of charity work things too. I know Grumpy Bunny did one, and Wraith has one going on right now, but to see like the full project, and it's also a dolphin, like dedicated to dolphins. It's kind of nice to see that, and I'm curious to see, if some other people kind of go that route too.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
And Tommy, I mean, weren't we supposed to sit down with Shiz over from Ghostchain tonight? I thought we were going to do a community spotlight tonight.
Yeah, dude, I think we are. Why don't we get into that? So for tonight, we actually have a special segment inside the podcast where we got the chance to sit down with Shiz from the Ghostchain community earlier. We brought him in. This is a recommendation from Slick and part of the Ghostchain community. And the first time we're ever getting to talk to an actual community member inside of a project. Tonight, we're joined by Shiz from the Ghostchain community. Shiz, welcome on.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Super excited. Slick was
different.
Pushing for this.
Way different than our normal actual guests that we have inside the show. It's usually a project creator or doing a sit down or something like this. So I think it's the first segment where we're introducing it into the actual podcast itself. And I'm sure this will be its own standalone clip. So you were recommended highly from Slick, who's definitely a big member inside the Ghostchain community to kind of represent tonight. So no need to put you onto the spot, but we're excited to talk to you, man.
No pressure.
I really appreciate it. Excited.
Definitely
it's an honor
for,
to be your first.
Kicking off a good community segment, kind of getting to interact with people from the community. Ghostchain's one of the best ones to start with for sure. So I'm glad we were able to set this up.
Yeah, it's fitting too, because it's one of the first communities that brought us in, and
it is, yeah.
So
exactly,
definitely fitting.
Yeah, so I guess tonight, inside this little segment here, what we wanted to kind of get across is just talk to the community member. They said if you have some good inside info, or not inside info, I'd call it, but you have a good grasp on what the actual Ghostchain community is. You're heavily involved into it. You've been there for a while. And I wanted to kind of just introduce you in of, why did they choose you in this, and why did, basically, how did you get involved with the Ghostchain community? What was your exposure into it, and why are you so confident that it's going to be a game changer here in the future?
Yeah, sure. So I still remember when it happened. I was scrolling through my old Discord messages, and I can't believe it was only in October. It's been 5 months, right? But in NFTs, it feels like clays were when we were kids, right?
Right. Yeah, for sure.
It feels like I remember pixels minting. I'm like, wow, but that was 4 months ago,
Yeah. It's like Titanic. I was there 80 years ago.
That's what it felt like. And I was trying to see when did I join Ghostchain, and it was Slick. He messaged me because we were both in the Entheos Discord at the time. And he's like, you seem really active in Entheos, and I have a good project here that I think you'd be interested in. And, he shared the white paper, and he gave me my first ghost. So that's kind of how I got introduced to Ghostchain. And once I started reading the white paper, at the time, it was Soul Token. Well, Soul Token wasn't there at the time, but, profit share, marketplace. And at the time, all we had was CNFT.io, right? And we all know how that went. I pretty much got banned from their Discord. So I'm like, a marketplace with the profit share, it's interesting, right?
Yeah.
And the art was really cool too. So I had nothing to lose at the time. So that's really my intro to, Ghostchain.
So on Mint Day out there, so Slick seems to be always the guy who introduces and gets people into the project. I know that he was that way for us. Once he found us, he's like, hey guys, let me get you into the project. It's like the ambassador that kind of, segues and gets everybody here. So you weren't there on Mint Day. Slick was somebody who got you in, or were you actually there minting ghosts on the launch?
Yeah, so he got me in a little bit before. The ghost he gave me was a pre public mint ghost. So I minted about 130 or so ghosts.
Damn,
you guys are confident then inside of this project, huh? That's one thing that I've noticed about talking to a few members inside the community is that they didn't just mint a couple of them and see how it went. You guys DJing hard into this thing, and
I love it.
And most people, it was not even on their radar at that time. I know me, I think it was around a Halloween time. I had saw another ghost project kind of coming out, and I didn't put anything together other than, okay, here's another thing. I skipped right over it, and obviously that was a big mistake on my end. But we're here now. So one thing I wanted to kind of bring up here, or at least one of the first topics, is Ghostchain seem to have ghost hands or diamond hands, some of the the craziest lowest listing percentages inside of the CNFT space, and that's for good reason here. Most of the stuff that I wanted to kind of bring up with you guys and ask you is what really is the differentiator for you guys in this Ghostchain community? What sets it apart, compared to what these other projects are? And then how does free roam kind of tie into that?
Yeah, sure. And so, you mentioned it. So the available supply varies between about 120 and 150 over the past month.
Mm-hmm.
And it's when you have a lot of early investors who saw the vision, saw the white paper, saw that, this was all planned out. This was a marketplace before marketplace was a buzzword. This was a metaverse component before metaverse was a buzzword, right? This was all planned in the white paper months ago. And so when you have a lot of people who had that early on conviction and they have a low cost basis, right? They minted them for 35 to 50 ADA. Now the floor is 600 to 700. But the reason why they bought them to begin with was because of the profit share.
Right.
It was because, and so when you have that sort of incentive to hold, you start to see that available supply. And, so people either believe in the project or they don't. I was talking to somebody the other day and they thought that ghosts were heavily overvalued. And then,
Right.
The projects that they're big in, I'm like, I think those are overvalued too. So somebody's going to be right. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So with you guys, this is the 10,000 collection of these ghosts, and behind these things, the utility that's built into them, is that you get profit sharing of a marketplace, which is the freeroam.io. That we've heard about multiple times. And these guys are not, like you said, I kind of let you kind of explain this a little bit. From my understanding of it, is another marketplace, but it's not just a normal marketplace, right? There's so much more that dives deeper into it. I want to let you kind of explain a little bit about what free roam is and how it, like I said, how the ghosts tie into that.
Yeah. So the number one complaint when you talk to other community members is that they just hear that this is another marketplace, right? Another buy, sell, another JPEG store, but there's so much more that they have planned. And obviously it's not going to be ready on day one, but what is the vision of the team and can they execute, right? That's the most important piece here. And so when you look at the differences in the Cardano versus ETH NFT space, there's some pretty obvious differences. And especially in the sense that you have a lot of people who hype up projects, you get a lot of flippers the next day, and then the floor bottoms out and and pretty much the project dies. And so the vision of the Ghostchain team and the free roam team, as far as I've been, able to get from the Discord, is that they're trying to change that. This is not just a marketplace where you're going to buy and sell. Their goal is to establish a new sort of CNFT ecosystem with a focus on the users and a focus on the developers. And how do you attract a lot of those people who are talented on the NFT space from ETH over to Cardano? And so they have a lot of creative solutions that they haven't really brought to light yet because they're still in development, and the marketplace space is very competitive right now. So why would they tell us what's in the works necessarily? But you sort of have to make that leap of faith that the team knows what they're doing, that they're also NFT investors, and that they're in this for the long term. So this is not going to be a marketplace buy, sell, done. This is step one of a huge, really a stepping stone towards the next evolution of CNFTs.
Right. And I think that most people inside the space, obviously they hear marketplace, they hear, okay, we got JPEG store now. That kind of basically is overtaken. We started with CNFT.io and we saw how quick, functionality inside the space and the ease of use can quickly overtake, the first mover advantage out there. That CNFT, they were the monopoly at the time. JPEG store came around. And right after that, I think the market share is now flipped to over 70% or, maybe higher now. That is all on JPEG store. Just because of that easy use. So I think what free roam, what's going to be the big mover that's going to take some of that stuff back away from JPEG, or at least give JPEG some competition, right? And free roam seems to be the one that, it has to do something different. It can't just be the same, right? Like you're saying. So I wanted to kind of showcase into this next segment here and let you kind of talk through it. Over here is the actual test net and the beta version of free roam is kind of out right now for users. If you want to go ahead and connect your NAMI over onto the test net, you can actually connect, or your CC Vault or Jero Wallet, I believe too, are the three right now that you're able to do that with. And this just kind of gives you an inside look of what free roam's going to be, what to look forward to. Do you want to kind of explain, and I can kind of walk through tabs here as you're kind of going through some of this stuff, and what kind of sets it apart from just another marketplace?
Sure. And so the overall vision here is that this is going to be a centralized hub for everything CNFT. So right now we have Open CNFT, CNFT tools, and we have JPEG store, for example. Here they have some features that are unique to a marketplace. For example, they have the calendar up top, which is interesting, and you're on that, upcoming drops. And the other unique feature that exists right now is that dashboard, where you can actually see kind of the floor value of your actual NFT collection.
Right. And this is, go ahead. So this is a game changer for me. Is one of the things that I love most about this is like, it gives you a good gauge into your actual wallet and kind of tells you where you're at, monetary wise, especially for some people who may hold a lot of NFTs.
Yeah, it's awesome. And they're going to have integration for token values as well. And so once you have this sort of API and this functionality, you know, you can kind of see where this is headed, right? Like,
Right.
I mean, and then the other piece of it, if you go on the collections, each collection is going to have their own page. So they apply to be have their own page, and they can maintain that. So it's like you have people who want to be artists, people who want to develop NFTs, but maybe they don't have the connections, the skill sets, or maybe they're good at, you know, maybe they're good at the art side, but not the minting side. Maybe they're good at, you know, maybe they don't have the funds to do their own separate website. And why do you even need your own separate website?
Right.
So you're going to have this own centralized place where people, you can work with the free roam team and have your own project page or minting page. It's all done for you. They're going to create that ease of use on the user side, but also on the developer and the artist side. And
Yeah.
so that's huge.
Wow.
So you're
I
gonna
like
be able
that
to
because-
actually mint for a project on that on their website then too.
I mean, I think that there's, I don't have any concrete proof of anything, but the vision here is that it's a one-stop shop for users and developers.
Right, because like you said, you built in, like you said, the projects can come in here and basically have, you know, as long as they're vetted and go through, you know, free roam's, you know, onboarding process, they verify, they're able to modify their page. You can actually see, like you said, the activity for, you know, basically like a normal marketplace. You can actually, you bring into like the likeness of, you know, people can like some of these listings out there, which kind of brings in like the, you know, so part of like an OpenSea, kind of like bringing some of that stuff in there. You have news where these guys can maybe link, you know, their Twitter or news or any kind of thing that they have going on. So you don't have to go away from the website itself. Like you said, the calendar view is basically, you know, all these other websites like One CNFT and all these other things, you don't need to navigate to another place.
Bouncing
And then
back,
even
tab to tab, yeah.
and even your analytics, this basically is now turned into OpenCNFT.io. You don't have to go there either. You can literally be all in one spot. I think this is what people, you know, the analytics side of this mixed with the calendar, mixed with the ease of use, you're combining everything into all in one stop shop, like you're saying.
Love it.
Yeah, and so the thing is, like, people want to talk about projections, right? Marketplace volumes, market share, and it's like this is ghosts are the only way to get a piece of the whole pie. Unless
Right.
unless you're gonna be up at 5 a.m. in another part of the world to mint any of these projects and try to, you know, get lucky and flip. I mean, you don't need to worry about it anymore. If there,
Mhm.
you know, if there's some sort of financial benefit to Ghostchain for the minting side of things, and then where are those projects going to be listed? They're going to be listed on free roam. So it's like ghosts make sense. And if you're long on CNFTs, then the only way I can see you kind of taking full advantage of the space is to be long on ghosts and therefore long on free roam. So that's my thought process. And even if they get 30% of the volume, I mean, that's still huge. We don't need 100% of the volume for this to be a good play.
No, absolutely not. And I think just to bring anybody else who is listening in right now and doesn't know exactly why you know, what ghosts actually do with free roam is that they actually are, like we've been talking about, is they share a 0.01% net profit per ghost of the overall profits of the marketplace. So like you said, if you bought in, you know, 130 of these things, right? Like you got a decent little chunk of the pie right there. I was at 1.3% of whatever that is inside that marketplace, or not 1.3, 0.13 percent of that marketplace.
For every 100, I think it's 1%. I think, yeah.
Right. Or close to that, it's like 0.1. Yeah, but either way, you guys are getting a sizable chunk. So I've seen some calculators and stuff like that where obviously it requires, you know, the benefits of making free roam work is you got to get users here to be spending their ADA, and you needed to do something different, like we were talking about, outside of just being another marketplace. So having an all-in-one stop shop is definitely a game changer. And then, like you said, the ghost tie the utility to that. If anybody's actually curious too, you can actually connect either your NAMI or CC Vault, put it to the testnet mode right now inside of Ghostchain's Discord or inside of Free Roam too. They'll actually give you an address. You can send 10 test ADA to go ahead and actually mint a ghost. I did this earlier, so I was able to actually mint a test ghost right now. So you can play around with it. You can mess around with these things. Some of these people are able to list and do different stuff. So you can experience this dashboard right now and actually see, play around with it a little bit before it does launch. And I know they're actually onboarding certain partners right now to go ahead and do these test mints right now. So for me, this is a huge thing to be able to see kind of the vision, not just talk about it prior to you guys actually getting the launch out. So that was one big thing. I know one of the next things we wanted to talk about too, outside of honing the ghost, the other part of this with the marketplace is the actual Soul token, which is going to be Ghostchain's native token, Soul. I know we wanted to kind of quick mention this real quick. a little bit about utility, because people I'm sure have questions a little bit about this. Can you kind of give us a quick little overview of what Sol is going to be inside this ecosystem?
Sure. And so they haven't totally elucidated or clarified what the utility of Sol token will be. And I think that a lot, again, competitive advantage, right? CNFT.io had a token and look what happened. Like it's worthless, right? There's no utility.
Right.
So if we have if there's a long-term vision that this marketplace is going to be a full ecosystem, maybe advertising, I'm not sure, but project launches and other things, you can start to see where there might be utility for tokenomics that comes into play. And they've drawn some parallels with things that exist on the ETH space. I'm not very, intimate with them, but I think they were mentioning how things like looks rare and the tokenomics on ETH is sort of the play, but maybe that functionality is more complicated in Cardano, but that's the vision and the goal here.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say that as it ties into, if you want to go up to that pie chart up there real quick, as it ties into the actual ghosts, each ghost has DNA, and the rarest DNA percentage is what's considered to be a unique DNA would be 0.01% DNA. There's a few of them available for sale on the marketplace, but the math on this, when we're talking about the airdrop here, there's 1 billion tokens, right? And so the airdrop is going to be 13% of that. So 130 million Sol tokens will be distributed for all 10,000 ghosts. And the amount you get per ghost will be determined by the DNA rarity. So if you have a unique ghost, 0.01% DNA, then you're going to be getting, we think, about 80,000 Sol tokens for that one ghost. Right. And then if you have a common ghost, that one is like 1 divided by 170. So, a few hundred Sol token for that ghost.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, because I know the backstory too of just why what the DNA has to do, or why ghosts even have DNA, is that Ghostchain, each Ghostchain used to have its own soul, and then when that soul passed, they were split. So you'll notice each Ghostchain has their own DNA, and some share with others, because if you had some get split into 10 different ones, and like you said, the rarest ones are kind of the one-on-one DNA, they have their own stuff, and like you said, that's the harder ones to come across, but they also gain more Sol tokens that will be airdropped to you. That's kind of the backstory for that.
And there's also, I'm sorry.
Okay.
There's also, so in addition to the Sol token and the utility, well, you can see that we did the lottery and the airdrop is still pending. The details of, will that be all at once? Will it be over a year? I think it's going to be spread out over a year with snapshots. And then there's the public mint that hasn't happened yet. But the other benefit of holding a ghost for the marketplace is actually discounted selling fees.
Right.
So based on the rarity of your ghost, I think the standard seller's fee is about 2% for the marketplace. So that's pretty standard now. But if you have a common ghost, you get a discount. And if you get a legendary, the discount gets more significant as you get towards legendary. So I think the legendary discount, I have to double check. I think you pay like 1.2%, I think, instead of the 2%. And then there's also the hunt for the one-of-one ghost called ADA.
Yeah.
And if you hold that one-of-one ghost, then your seller's fee is only 0.8%. And that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, and I know isn't that like a community event kind of thing to find ADA at some point? They're going to be doing that.
Yeah, 100%.
That's fun. So I think the big things to take away from what you're saying is Ghostchain is, outside of just being a PFP has a deep layer here built in with free roam. These ghosts kind of act as your token, your key into free roam to be part, basically. I mean, you're basically a part of free roam by, a stakeholder inside of free roam by owning one of these ghosts.
An investor. We don't like to use that word, but that's what you're doing. That's what it's almost like they crowdfunded or, the project of getting a new marketplace in a way that they seem to see into the future. Like, it seems the things that they're doing seem so obvious when you see them on free roam. Like, why haven't other marketplaces done this? Any other investment app or anything like that is going to show you breakdowns of your portfolio and wallet and the changes every day. And the fact that it's all been consolidated into one place seems so obvious, but it clearly wasn't, because no one else was doing it until they came up with all this. So it's very cool that you guys were really believed in that part of the project to kind of get in as an early almost investor, but really just kind of crowdfunded to be a part of that side of things.
Yeah, 100%. And this is what they're willing to show. These
Right.
are significant competitive advantages that are public, right?
Right.
We don't even know who the team is. They haven't doxed, and they keep a lot of their, their cards close to their chest. And this is just what they're willing to show early on. And
That's-
I agree with you.
And I think the big thing too with them is that they're taking their time to do it right. They're not just pushing it out just to get it out right now. I know originally, the roadmap was hoping to have this stuff already out. A lot of, all this marketplace is going to be ready to go. I know they've kind of continued to push that back a little bit just to get it right, because I think they picked up more devs or something, wasn't it, onto the team. Then they kind of dialed it back a little bit to get it ready.
Yeah, they weren't. They're doing a lot of things in the background, from the business perspective that I'm not privy to, obviously. And the other interesting thing too about this is that the devs don't care what the floor price of the ghosts are. They have no skin in the game, right? And they also didn't reserve any ghosts for themselves, but they did reserve soul token for themselves. So it's like they're fully and solely invested in the success of the marketplace. And at the end of the day, the ghosts are profit share. Like, it really doesn't matter to them necessarily, right?
Right.
But when you see that their long-term vision here is improving the CNFT adoption for the users and the developers, like, the ghosts are just a nice benefit. Like, this is an awesome project by itself. The ghosts don't even really need to exist, in my opinion. It's just a nice perk.
Right.
And it's nice that they did this for the community to be a part of it. That's what really stood out to me.
Right.
Yeah, they could have tried and got funding for the market through some other means, or through their own savings, or fronting their own money, and letting us kind of get in on a piece of that is just like giving back to the community even more. Like, hey, we want everyone to be involved and a part of this and believe in it, as opposed to us just sitting back developing a market and then putting money in our pockets.
It's almost like we're the lenders, because when you buy the Ghostchains, and then now they have the profits to make this website, and then we get the return back from the profit share.
Yeah, 100%. And they're super active in Discord. Like, they don't need to do any of that stuff. They could have got their money left and built their marketplace without us, but from day one, nothing is an accident in this project. That's the part that bothers me. It's like, you see these stupid little details and you're like, damn, what does that mean though?
Oh, yeah.
Me and some of the other guys spend like weeks looking at the DNA and looking at all the traits on the ghost. Like, why does Elon Musk have like a yellow shadow? Does that mean something? Like, stupid things like that drive you crazy, because these guys are super calculated. And you're depressing me showing this, because most of those are like my purchases, and I'm broke right now.
I was about to say, I wanted to shout you out as I'm scrolling through. I'm looking through the top sales. The highest ghost chain that's been sold for these legendary, the orange ones, is 8,500. Is that the Predator or the?
Yeah, it's Alien.
Okay,
or whatever.
Alien over there. So
the Xenomorph. Okay.
Yeah. I love how that was one of the things.
It's got the blood for its shadow. That's pretty dope. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That looks good, but I had to shout yours out because this is one of the ones that we've noticed inside. If you catch you in the Discord, the Ash over here. So we can check you out, bro. So you got in there on the 12th over back in December, or sorry, the 9th over in December. Hey, that's a dope one to have right there. I really like that.
Thanks, man.
Was there anything that stuck out with making these purchases other than their legendary? You just liked, the look of some of these things?
Well, at the time, I think that was a all-time high. It's just, I grew up like loving Pokemon, right? And that's the part about NFTs that gets me into trouble, is that it's like collecting cards without like the hassle of eBay and shipping, and there's no refunds, right? So you're good. So it's like, so that's the part that gets me in trouble. But I grew up with Pokemon cards, and then honestly, the selling point on this one was the number 9999, things like that. So it's the last legendary. So
I didn't realize that either.
I choose Boo. I like that. I saw that.
Well, I had to shout that out, Shiz, because this is obviously, if we're rocking inside the Discord, this is where you're probably seeing your profile pic as of right now. But to kind of wrap this up over there, we really appreciate you jumping on and giving you a little bit more community insight into this project. And I guess the last question before we get out of here on this is, what can you say, or why is the Ghostchain community, for us, it was super inviting, and it was super fun for us to kind of just hang out in there, and you guys kind of welcomed us with open arms. And I know you've done that with some of the other bigger community members as they stumbled into the project. What about the community is fun for you?
It's just full of a lot of good people. And like, I think that I said it a little bit earlier, but the dev team is intimately involved, and they do give the sense that they really do care about the community. And so when you have a group of people who are diamond handed, they were in the project early on, and then they welcome newcomers openly, I mean, it's just a great thing to see. And then, so you just have a lot of good people who have been burned a lot in other projects, and they kind of found like a sort of home in this project. And, when people like you come, it's a pleasure, we love working, we love your videos and we love, a lot of things about the community. So
I got to say, one of my favorite things is you mentioned earlier how some people on the outside might look at Ghostchain and just say, oh, it's another marketplace. I don't understand then why the floor is so high. It seems overvalued. That's one of my favorite things about your community is it's very supportive and strong, but it's also not super large. It's very welcoming. It's easy to get in. You're not really overwhelmed. You can kind of find a place very easily because the wallet distributions, I guess, lower than what you'd expect for most like 10,000 asset projects. So it's like a close-knit community. And then when going back to saying it's overvalued, what I love about that is that you guys get to choose your value. You set the floor together. Like obviously there is a set floor, but as far as like your Pokemon guy, those are all something that you guys hold on to. You can value them at whatever you want. So there is no, like, to me, overvalue on those because the community is so strong. It's just like you said, I think 120 are for sale right now or something like that. So go overvalued. You can only get 100 of them if you want to get them. There's not like other projects where you can sweep the floor of 3,000 assets just sitting there. And out of 10K, there's 3,300 for sale. 100 is ridiculous.
No, I appreciate that, and I know we got to keep it short, but like you brought up a few good points, and it's like the common critiques of the project are that again, the whale wallets. So you have a few small holders with large bags, but like they bought the floor up there. It's like and the floor is determined by buyers, not sellers, right? So people obviously feel demand at those levels, but the largest wallets haven't sold a single ghost yet, and they don't plan to. They could have bottomed it out a long time ago, but they're in it for the profit share. And the last piece I want to say is just there's this emerging trend in the space with DAOs, right? And everybody's doing all these DAO proposals and all this stuff. Like, who cares if a DAO buys 10 ghosts? Like, no one cares. Either we're right or we're not. But people get like pretty upset when a DAO doesn't want to buy ghosts. And I'm like, I don't really care because it doesn't impact my profit share either way. Like, we're not selling,
You're not in it for the floor. Yeah, like the floor.
Who cares?
Obviously, if the floor is 100,000 ADA, that'd be awesome. You know what I mean? I'm sure there'd be some guys that flip. But like, really, you're in it because you want to have the ghost in your wallet for the future profits from free roam. The floor is kind of irrelevant to everyone else. It's just nice to see the project succeed and see a good floor. That always helps kind of solidify, free roam's place in the space. Like, hey, this is a legitimate project too. It's coming from another project that has a solid floor. It's not just some 15,000 asset thing with a floor 7. Who are these guys? Like, it's showing a strong foundation. And then all you guys are so loud, whether it's on Discord or Twitter, you guys go crazy. And every post, it's just like nonstop. Even before this, I think I retweeted our giveaway that we have going on right now. That'll still be going on when this comes out. And right away, Ghostchain guys are liking it and retweeting it immediately. They're the first ones to jump on it. I swear you guys have like alerts for the hashtag on Ghostchain.
You guys are all over that stuff, man. Any kind of marketing or anything that's surrounding at the charts. People inside the community, I think some of our most supported videos are the ones that we talk about you, or we featured some of the stuff from you guys. So we appreciate you guys just welcoming us into that community. I know you guys even recently invaded our Discord for like a day. It was just all ghosts. So we really appreciate you guys and the support over there, and Alex and all the guys as they're continuing to build. So I want to do a quick shout out over to Slick, first of all, for getting us into the community itself, and then also for helping us set this up. One last thing I did want to go ahead and shout out while we're sitting here on the screen share, and before we get out of here, is we do have a giveaway currently going on inside the Freedom 35ers page in partnership with, not partnership, but I'd say in part with Project 2090. We are giving away an actual ghost right now. So that if you want to get in, your chance to get into Ghostchain's ecosystem, be part of this group. Hey, enter, go ahead, like Ghostchain, Project 2090, and as well as our YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe. We'll go ahead as soon as we hit 1,000 YouTube subs right now. That will go ahead and be given away. I think we're right around 800, a little over 850. We got about 150 left to go. So that shouldn't take hopefully too long. And then the 2090, if you want to get into that project, which also has a cool collab over here with Free Roam. On top of that, one of the dopest pieces of artwork between the two that I know Slick and I think Shiz, are you bought into this one or part of this one as well? I can't remember what Slick was saying on these, but
yeah, we split that one 3 ways. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a dope just piece of artwork between 2090 and Ghostchain.
But we're trying to do fractional shares before the thing, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, right. That's another part. Not to say that no other community members have ever done that. I'm sure there's some other buddies that have gone ahead. I wouldn't claim you're the only ones, but it's just cool seeing that you guys met through the Discord, met through, enjoying projects together, and then see these other projects that kind of extend a hand, and it's like, let's all get together and buy this together.
Hey, that's a thought, boys.
You got your own DAO going,
Get your own DAO right there. So if anybody too over while we're here, you got Shiz, go ahead and give him a follow over on Twitter. We'll go ahead and make sure to link you guys inside of this. We want to say thank you for stopping on, as well as Slick. Go ahead and check these guys out inside the Discord. Go say hi, tell them Freedom 35 sent you if you're watching this video right now. Make sure to go enter this giveaway. Shiz, dude, we appreciate your time jumping in here. This is the first community spotlight we've had from Ghostchain, and dude, you represented well. I think you passed the test tonight, so we appreciate you having you on the show, man.
I appreciate being here, guys. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your night. Good luck on the show.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, like we said at the end of that segment, we do have a giveaway going on currently for an Ghostchain, as well as another NFT project 2090, that was organized by both Slick from the Ghostchain community and Lim over from Project 2090. We've talked about, I'd say I don't know, was it mint time back in the day for Project 2090 on the channel? Yeah, I think it's been a while since we provided an update for these guys, or girls, should we say it. But they've had, these perfectly, I think it was the Metaverse thing that we jumped into, right? It was like they had like a scavenger hunt almost.
Treasure hunt.
Treasure hunt. Yeah.
Stayed up all night doing that.
Yeah. And I know the only reason I knew of them originally was back from Free Roam, like, because I knew they had, they were going to be featured, or one of the ones they had like done like these like cyborgs. And they did have like some of the free roam stuff built into them. And as we learned from Slick and Lim and stuff like that, these they actually had like artwork that was like a collaboration between, obviously you can see the free roam logo right here, but the ones that Slick had as well, they had a really cool like legendary piece that had like the Ghostchains mixed in with like the cyborg over here. It was like a super cool nod to both Ghostchain and Project 2090. So shout out to Lim, for sharing our stuff over there as well. And one thing we wanted to kind of just cover for the project itself is they've held really well, right? Like their floor is
strong, yeah, especially in the market. I mean, that's we've been talking about all episode is kind of how some projects have taken a hit. And I think, Tommy, you were just looking it up. It's still over 100, right, for the floor?
Yeah, the floor is sitting at 105 currently as of the recording right now. So they've been doing well. They stood the test of time. They minted, back in the day. I think if we go back, I have it actually pulled up, the actual this little metaverse that we have over here. Like, as you can kind of walk.
I know you still going. That's cool.
Yeah, I snuck in there. I was like, yeah, January 22nd. Has it been that long? And then the pre-sale is January 21st.
Wow.
So it's been that long, right? Like, you can actually go. This is the little like room that just throws me off because we're on stream doing this. But you see like Free Roam's logo inside of here too, as we're kind of like walking around.
And it was cool. You had to go around and find codes, I think, and then you use the codes to redeem on their website. And they had like happy hoppers and a lot of projects they were giving away. I think there's a Ghostchain on there. They had the Soul token from Ghostchain was part of the giveaway, or no prizes. It was just a big treasure hunt. So everyone was running around here like trying to find these little sneaky hidden codes.
I think you can still like, there's still things for like, they do like giveaways and different things. Like, obviously, I haven't even been through here in a while. It's been a while since all this stuff has happened, but it's pretty crazy. Even this like right here is super cool. But this was like the metaverse that we were jumping into originally, where you did have to find like those treasure hunt. And then since then, they've done pretty well and been holding up. And I know they're getting ready to ramp up to their next part of this, which is the virus infection over here, which they don't have a
built in supply. Some of the there's only certain ones. It's not going to be all of them. It's not like a serum thing, I believe. It's only certain ones have built in, because they're cyborgs. The story is Earth is in rough shade. It's not like enough oxygen, so they're turning people into like cyborgs, which sounds awesome to me too. Like, upload my brain to a computer all day. I'm done with this shit.
Like Cortana your ass.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Put me in the Matrix. I'm cool with that. But I think the idea, since they're cyborgs, some of them have like this virus malfunction type thing. So it's only going to be certain ones. Yeah, limited amount of specifically designed virus NFTs are implanted into specific cyborgs. So I don't believe it's going to be all of them. It sounds like it's going to be kind of a like a random airdrop almost.
That's unique, definitely different, because there's 5,555 of them. So obviously you don't want to like dilute your pool either by like dropping a bunch more of these things. So only having specific ones definitely helps it make more exclusive, I think. So I definitely appreciate that.
Also could kind of push some value into some that would be, you know, quote unquote lower ranked, you know, maybe not as desired as far in the secondary, but now, hey, this is actually one that ends up having a virus. Like I got rank, you know, I got Mr. Irrelevant here. I got the last one on it on the chain, and then it ends up being a virus one, and now it just boosts your value even more.
Oh yeah, and I appreciated like I know you know this is one that I think I slept through the mint originally on this.
It's on the weekend,
yeah. I just I don't know why, dude. I just didn't make it in there. I was very bad about doing that. But the project was always cool looking to me. I just honestly, you know, just didn't get a chance to get in. And then since then, like, you know, fast stuff moves into space. I just didn't get a chance to go in there. One thing I wanted to show, like on the CNFT tool, because there are some really cool looking ones, especially in the beginning kind of stuff. Like you said, the Ghostchain one over there, they pay homage to like a lot of the different projects in the space too.
Cyberpunk one is very cool. The samurai one there, I like that a lot. I'm pretty sure it's a Cyberpunk 2077. That's very cool.
That looks so legendary. Like
it's got like the
iron
got like
spider
almost,
armor.
You can almost see Keanu in that, like in the splits. It's two people split. That's the fourth one in there.
That's so I love all these. Like these are obviously like really cool. You got a FutureFest one right there.
Oh, nice. There you go. Well, and I think the next step, the big step, because even though you just showed that kind of 3D world they had for the treasure hunt, they do plan on bringing in 3D artists to now turn all these into a 3D avatar. And then their plan isn't though to build their own metaverse. I mean, I think that's probably just because they see how, you know, oversaturated that metaverse is becoming. And also, you know, it seems like such a big task to do, where so many other projects kind of trying to tackle it. I think they're going to kind of play the space, see which one emerges, I guess, on top, and try and kind of work with them to integrate their 3D avatars into that metaverse, to kind of bring the community together that way, as opposed to doing their own separate thing.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting actually to look at it like that, because I think the other thing I caught my eye on this too is the deflationary mechanism that forms basically like a separate limited NFT collection within the limited supply. I'm curious to see how that's actually going to work, because then they reference it again here on the roadmap towards like Q3 of this year of season 2 unique deflationary sideboard drop, like an X and Y drop. So right now I know like the unique thing about these is they're all female characters in here too, which you don't always see that inside the space, which is really, really good you know, that they're doing something like that and like giving it that showcase.
Usually the female side of drops are always like
the second one, right? They always do like the male, then the female, then the baby.
Yeah,
like, that's just like the normal path. So it's cool to see that they've started out like this. And they're doing so well too. Like you definitely need more of that in this space, especially, you know, we're in that male dominated space industry, I'd say, compared to most. Sure. You know, it's getting, you know, obviously there's some great people out there, and you know, the Cardano woman space I think is another one that is starting to kind of come up and do really well, and it's good to get the exposure out here. So Project 2090, you know, the all female cast out here, it's awesome to see that.
I mean, yeah, you could just look at our YouTube analytics. I mean, I think 100% like guys,
it's like very like 7%,
35.
Yeah, it's very low on there, but hopefully, like you said, we'll see more and more you know, women coming into the space over here. But it's awesome to see that. So I guess you got the team, like you said, they, you know, that doesn't appear to be doxed over here, but interesting enough is that this, you know, that I love the artwork on this, and then I'll be curious to see, because they were giving previews inside the Discord of some of the you know, the infected ones over there with like I said, the chip, the little virus. They had different looking ones. I love that concept of kind of how like the mutant apes kind of are like that as well, where it was like the original collection and then they mutated, and some of the artwork looks even better than the original on the new stuff that they're doing.
They're actually doing the raffle starting Friday for that virus drop.
Oh really?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it goes from Friday to next week.
So the day this will release, the raffle will be going live.
Yeah, they do the raffle mint registration, and they do the snapshot leaderboard next week.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely have to go jump in there. I know Lim inside the Discord shared the giveaway too for us as well. So a big shout out to them for setting us up with that, and just the support in general. We really appreciated that. And that's something that we haven't really covered too much. So hopefully, you know, obviously, you know, this will end on March 16th, so next the following Wednesday. So you guys have plenty of time to go ahead, make sure you're following both you know, Project 2090 and Ghostchain, and as well as subscribe to our channel. and you got yourself an awesome looking project 2090. And shout out with the free roam logo. This one looks super clean. I really like this one a lot.
It really does.
It
I like the
very, very
backgrounds
nice.
it did for a lot of them too.
Yeah, no, they're super nice, very well detailed. And then obviously the Ghostchain, we talked about what the utility just recently, what that's going to get you. So go out there and make sure you're here. We got a lot of support out there on those too. Moving on, we have another brand new update that didn't catch us on the last time. They got us with the bubble jet. We were like right in between like recording day and release day when they actually they dropped it in like a Thursday announcement they were minting on Friday. So we got caught with like not being able to record and give an update to them. But Cornucopias game, not tonight. We were able to go ahead and get the announcement that the new Javelin, the GTI Javelin, which is like basically the racer, is going to go ahead and mint next week on the 15th over at 5 p.m. UTC. They have not given a quantity and they have not given a price yet. But we had questions on this. I know I did. And we talked about it even in CNFT Taco Tuesday yesterday. What these racers were going to be for, because everybody thought like the bubble jets were going to become irrelevant at that point if they're going to sell another vehicle. Well, I don't think you're going to be flying around in space the same way that your bubble jets are going to be doing. This thing seems to be like a high speed like racer for like racetracks and different things inside of space. But the video, first off, just a shout out to the Cornucopias game team. Dude, these guys are crushing the visuals and what when you think metaverse game, you think those like Sims like style, like that very older, like, graphics and things like that, not really well fleshed out. You can tell that these guys are building a game first, and like that metaverse is just becoming incorporated into it. I don't know if you watch the gameplay for this stuff, dude. It looks good.
It's so good.
Like, this is what's got me most excited about them is like the racing. Like this looks like it's if not, I mean, they fooled the hell out of me because this looks like it's, getting close to ready to go. Like, I mean, I'm sure they have plenty of work ahead of them still with just having the mint come out, but it's looking very promising and looks really good as far as compared to some of the things we've seen from some of the other projects that have promised games where at most we've maybe seen like a 3D avatar walk around in the halfway designed game world or something.
On the level.
Yeah, this looks like, I mean, get a couple more racers in there, you're ready to go, you're playing.
Dude, this looks like, you can imagine like all of us just, hey, jump on your Javelin real quick. We're going to go knock out some races tonight on stream or something like that while we're talking. Like the graphics, like if you look
tearing at all the graphics, it looks great.
Pay attention too to like the backdrop and like the skybox and stuff. Like it looks very, very good. And I just had to shout this out because like, dude, I'm a big fan.
I'm drawing a blank, but what was the Star Wars racer rider called?
The pod racers.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking of. Okay.
Yeah.
At least the background and the like it looked like Tatooine.
Yeah,
yelled out for that. But what I really think of even more so is like, everyone always says metaverse, and then because it was so big, they think of Ready Player One. But a big part of Ready Player One, spoilers, even though that movie came out like 9 years ago or whatever now, there was a big race scene, and it's one of the first challenges was you had to accomplish a race. And that's just kind of what, when I think of metaverse, when we're seeing something like this, I think of more of like, okay, you're going to have a metaverse side of things where you can just hang out with your friends and upgrade stuff and have your bubble jet. And then it's like, TJ walks over. Hey guys, we're all going to go do a race right now. They just organized one. You want to jump in? Oh, cool. Let's all take our bubble jet over there, get on our bikes and race. And then you're racing within that world, and then you're done. And then you're back hanging out in that world. And that's like the closest to I've seen as far as what we have so far as a concept of a metaverse is like Ready Player One or something that has been the closest to it.
Yeah, no,
you gotta go in reverse though. Ready Player One
like
style.
This, I would say normally, like when you think about like a metaverse, like I'm thinking about all the money I'm trying to make from like the NFT and like what it's going to gain me. Like this actually has me excited. I'm like, you know what? I kind of actually want to just play the game too to see how it is. It's looking more and more interesting throughout each day. And I know they got a little bit of like hate because nobody knew yet. Like they announced like they got a Javelin sale coming out after your bubble jet. Like, oh, this is just another vehicle. How many of these are going to sell us? It kind of makes me devalue my bubble jet. I don't think that's the case at all based upon these videos and the way that the racing first off looks amazing. But I also wanted to share another video, which if anybody hasn't seen it yet, which is back from early in January this year, the actual bubble jet, what look at, you have the use case for this of how these are going to be different, and the graphics, dude, again, here's your sprinter, which you just went ahead and mentioned. Like, look at the actual graphics of how they're doing. It's like this gameplay. Look, it looks good.
It's like, great.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're over here, they got the little thing. And
you're like flying around. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
I think I've seen this video.
Yeah, I went ahead and I shared it in our Discord earlier today. but I hadn't seen it in a while. I think I saw like a preview of it,
I
but
never
it's just
checked our
like,
Discord.
because we've seen the, the bubble jet we talked about where they were like racing in like the water, like Diddy Kong racing style. I think we talked about it.
Yeah.
Like here you are, like remember how there's different worlds in here? Like you can fly around to all these different things. I'm assuming it's going to be a way easier method to go ahead and be able to do it. I'm getting like motion sickness kind of
I was
looking
gonna
at
say
some
I'm
of that
getting motion
stuff.
sickness when he's doing the barrel rolls.
Yeah. But it looks really, really good, what they're building, and it makes me more and more excited for what they're doing. So I think this is going to be a completely separate thing. And again, I don't know what the supply is yet. All I know is it's next, what is that? The 15th is
Tuesday.
pushed into next Tuesday. So this is 12 p.m. Eastern on our side, or 5 p.m. UTC. No price or none of that yet. So I'm sure we'll get an update for, checks to the podcast. Maybe it might be on Friday.
I just want
where
them
we're
to push
dropping
it
this.
back to like 9 p.m. UTC, so I can be home.
I just hope that if they're going to do it again the way they did it before, where it's like connect your NAMI or whatever it is to the website, like obviously I think Dirtbird that we talked about did a nice long article on that, on how like it should be fixed, a lot of those things. So it's mainly just needing like a laptop or something like that to make sure you're connected, because I can guarantee he's probably going to sell pretty well again.
Oh yeah.
But that just makes me want to go buy another bubble jet even more right now, and have another one of those things, because I only was able to get the commons back in the day.
I think someone who was it in our Discord that pulled that? Was it
Wurs.
Shiny or Wurs? It was Wurs. That one was real
that's
nice.
cool.
That was super sexy.
I know Wurs was over here. He's like, dude, I'm just kind of a little salty about like, they were releasing something so quick and afterwards. And now I think after maybe seeing this video, may have a different little opinion on some of this stuff, maybe.
Yeah, because we just apply differently. It's kind of cool. I mean, I can definitely see like if it'd be like if equine came out right away with like a zebra drop or something, it's like, well, now all the equines are useless. But if they came out with, a rhino or something that was used for battle, like they're just used in two different ways. One's for racing, one's for this. Like, so they don't really kind of step on each other's toes at all.
Yeah. Fun fact, equine does have a zebra skin.
They do have it. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. And shout out to the Cornucopias game for this. This looks awesome. And I definitely will be making sure I'm tuning in for this drop over there. And I just love the fact of how well done the game is. I heard it was Jay Crypto or even maybe Captain Optimistic over in space last night saying that one of the lead developers over there, he's or no, that's actually maybe that would be Pavia. I can't remember over there. Somebody was on Apex Legends over there. So
wow.
Maybe I'm confusing the two. But either way, Cornucopias game.
If he is, yell at him in the comments, guys.
Yeah, tell me I'm wrong over there on that. Shout out to Cornucopias game. But one of the new mints, which we haven't talked about over here, which I'm super, super excited for, and I know Tommy, you're a big fan, TJ as well, is BlockOwls. Their season 2 drop for the Plutus drop is dropping this Friday on the whitelist, March 11th, midnight UTC, and then the public mint is March 12th at 4 p.m. UTC. You got 46 new designs, 2243 NFTs, so only another 2,200 of these things. So low count. Dude, BlockOwls, man.
I just can't believe how far they've come. At first, it was just like these were really cool, and I want to have one because I like them so much. Like they're just the work and talent that must have gone into that. They're so different. And then now, like he's got a full team. They're coming out with like season 2. They got all these collabs going on. They got so much cool stuff going.
Oh, they look so good too. Like as far as the new designs go, I'm excited for what we're about to see here, because they got 46 of them, and they have some like community design ones too, which I know my Twitter is down. I'm gonna pull it up here while we're talking.
I saw the tin rust. What was it?
Tin and rust, and there's like a Sunday,
something like that.
There's Sunday, but tin here.
There it is. 10. That's what it
so
was.
They did.
Cool.
They had 5.
A little more to it.
5 of these were community like design contest winners. So they've shared, I think, 3 of them so far, at least that I know of. But 10 over here, and keep in mind too, which we talked about earlier, was that they went ahead and updated the policy. So you have sounds now for your original BlockOwls. You can actually distinguish it on JPEG Store now, because not all of them, people obviously upgrade sounds to them. So you can actually separate JPEG Store ones with sounds versus ones without sounds. So these ones are all going to come now with the sound effects on them as well. So it's going to be cool to, it gives a new layer of this stuff too. It makes them feel even more alive. But this dude, first off, the way that the community people who design every single one of these that I've seen so far look amazing.
That glitchy effect looks so clean looking. How they did it.
The way they do the artwork and the 3D modeling and stuff is top tier. This one was another one that some Benji Berlin Firestarter.
Yeah,
that one is
sick. That's amazing.
I hope I get something like that. It looks so good. Like I'm just a big fan. It looks like I'll show the trailer here in a second, but these are some of the community designs while we're over here. And this is Sunday, another one of the community ones they have over here. And it
I don't
looks
think I
so
saw the
good.
ice cream one. That one's
That's
really
the
good. That was
way
actually
to-
the first one that came out with, I think, too. I don't think I saw that one.
It looks, shine like
They-
sugar. is
They're one of the
design there.
projects that, like, you know, people always say if you had 500 ADA or if you had 1,000 ADA, like, what would you buy? You know, what project would you go and buy? And this is one I would buy just because I like the art a lot, like not
Yeah.
for necessarily even like caring about the flip value. And when you actually look at like JPEG Store and look at all the different BlockOwls, I would have so much trouble picking. Like, let's say I could pick one of any of them, I would have a lot of trouble because I go through and I'm like, this is my favorite one, and then 2 later it's like, wow, nope, the other one sucks. This is my favorite one, and you just keep doing that. Like, they're just all that good. There's
Yeah.
so many of them that look so cool and have such cool like color schemes to them or extra features. That I would, if I had to pick one of any of them, I don't know, it would be really tough. I'd have to just end up picking them out of a hat.
I don't know, man. These look so clean. I don't even know how to explain like the excitement for these things. Just I didn't do it, you know, the first time around. I wish I would have minted more. I only minted the one. And so now coming back into the second one, it was very hard to get into they waitlisted people for this stuff. So I never picked anything up off the secondary because these things were hovering for a few hundred ADA back in the day. And now over here, I think you had different roles inside the Discord based upon how many BlockOwls you had. And depending upon how many you had, you were able to go ahead and like whitelist or like fill out a Google Doc form to be able to go ahead and, actually submit your wallet address and have like a nice chill mint period. I think there had to be a 36-hour mint period for anybody in the whitelist ahead of time. And then after that, they're going ahead and they actually whitelisted the public mint too. So it's definitely going to be, if you didn't get in, it's going to be tough to get one of these things. But hopefully, if anything, hopefully there's some paper hands on secondary with everything going on. If you weren't able to get in, I definitely recommend picking one of these up there. I still don't know what they're doing yet. I just know that they make these awesome like teaser videos, like they're flying through space with these different, like the little spaceship and the different glitchy BlockOwls over here. They all look like incredibly well done.
Yeah, like you can see like it's obvious that this artist has experience in this field and knows what they're doing, not only making the NFTs, but just these videos and stuff, the different styles of animation they're using within the video. So I'm not sure where their plan is to go with this, but it's got me excited because
there's talent there for sure.
Yeah, for sure. They could do a lot of things with this.
Yeah.
And take it a lot of cool places.
Like
you can make a show out of this. You know what I mean? Owl's a great character.
Easily.
You can make a show or something like that.
I mean, think about like what was it, I remember Angry Birds.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Think about these guys. That's what you could definitely do the same kind of thing with them as well. Like it just looks like that, like so good. What they're doing, like this. Man, I'm a big fan of what they're doing right now. So we talked about them back in the day. I think I need to maybe reinvest some of my ADA and flip some stuff back around because I definitely want to get in. I want more than one. I got one. I was lucky enough to get into the whitelist on it this next week. But no, I need to get more because these things look all like, and it doesn't matter which one you have. It doesn't matter, like, because they are tiered up with like, the uncommons, the commons, like the mythic ones. But even if you have one of the common ones, they feel like, the exclusive, like one-on-ones. They all look so good.
Yeah, they look amazing. I got the Uni C, the one that's like was a like a unicorn.
Yeah.
And I think I got one on mint and then one off secondary. If I'm remembering correctly, I might have got both off secondary though, because I might have just missed it. But I can't quite remember. Yeah, I think I just missed it because I know our buddies had gone in on mint, and then I was like I FOMO'd in. I was like pissed that I didn't get in on the mint. Like I don't know what I was sitting out on, so I ended up snagging them off the secondary, which was nice too, because I got to really pick the ones I wanted because there were some very eager paper hands when these first minted. People just were like, "Oh, I'm gonna flip these right away." There's nothing like
white. They were selling for right around like floor for it.
Yeah,
when it first started.
Yeah, I got one super cheap and then instantly shot up to like 130 floor. And then they corrected a few times too. People started getting scared. They dropped to 90, 80, and then back up to 130. So they kind of bounced back around. But it seems like with these new announcements and stuff, like they're really taking this more from like just a cool project to like, oh, we're really invested in like developing this into a real thing in the space.
You got to think too, because right, like after they did their initial sale, you know, they were able to fund more, they were able to put more resources into it. And this is where I'd like the good projects will really start to thrive, because they were able to do their initial sale, like the next sale, like the follow-up, the season 2, whatever it may be, for their next iteration. That's when you can see like the good projects really shine. So I'm excited for these guys. You can clearly tell, like we're saying, I know they do like partnership, or they these crypto raggies. It's like another one of the game when we saw him like that BlockOwl in the second teaser video where he's playing like that little video game. It's like I think an homage to you know, the crypto raggies right here. It's like an homage to their little game.
Remember the original game they showed for crypto raggies, and then they had the BlockOwls in it.
Yes,
like the Sonic the Hedgehog looking one.
Yeah. So I think it might be the same kind of like deal. It's just it's cool to see that. But yeah, even like looking at like this teaser ones, the biddy, and it looks so good. Even that animation right there looks amazing. And we showed off, I think, even the sound one. Remember where they turned it around, they flipped the switch with the sound on in the back. Like they just, whoever does their animation is top tier. Like they know exactly. They're doing so well. So shout out to the BlockOwls team over there. The guy Kent, I know, is one of the founders over there, and that team, what you guys are doing, we're super excited. I'll definitely be there on the whitelist midday, and then obviously if there's anything on the secondary, I'll probably be waiting around to maybe snag something else out here. But shout out to BlockOwls. I know they're dropping Friday and Saturday of this week, so hopefully you made it through that Google Doc process and are able to get in that whitelist.
And this is just one of those ones too that I'll actually be like excited to watch as they mint, to see all the different ones that they come out with, because they're so creative. So this is like one of the ones I get excited to see, the different ones that actually get minted. And then also get pissed because I didn't get those ones.
Right. It's like, oh, those are so cool looking. Yeah, that's what I was doing the first time. I remember when I watched the blockchain, I'm like, damn, that one's cool. That one's cool. Wait, that one's even better. Like it was just, it was fun to see. Following up on the little space theme, which I love the design of these two. Moving over is Spacebudz. The redesign of the website got launched this past week. I wish, this is one NFT group that I wish I was a part of, and I get FOMO more and more as time goes on and as they release updates and things. And also Blake CNFT over there, he bought one of those things, and he's always just got me like, man, I wish I would have got back into those things. I missed out back in the day at 600 data. So
I'm surprised you still haven't snagged one.
I know.
I need to flip around. I need to flip around a lot of stuff to be able to get that floor, because even in this little market that we're in right now, these things still hover over. It's just over a 6,000 ADA floor. 6,070 as of the recording right now. So that's still a decent chunk of change.
That's less than $6,000 though.
It's just $6,000, you know,
less than $6,000.
But so they went ahead and did a revamp of the website. It's been a while. Alessandro, the creator of Nami Wallet, as well as Spacebudz, Barry Ailes, the first, we just celebrated their 1-year birthday. The guy's a genius. He's in space.
And the myth, the legend.
Yeah, I was listening to a little recent article to our interview that he had done back with Charles Hoskinson back in the day too. So he's well connected. The kid, is just a genius out there. Not kid, but young guy out here just crushing the space. But Spacebudz finally got a revamp to their website. It's kind of cool to see them like actually outside of just the normal standard profile pic, and like actually kind of like in a like an animated kind of like look to them outside of just the normal NFT, because it makes them feel more alive, more real, compared to just being like the first collectible on Cardano, because they always look at the original 10K collection. What else are they going to do besides being a 10K collection? Well, they went ahead and did this nice new website over here, but in the middle of it, they just dropped a nice little paragraph, just quiet and subtly, but it just says, as a line of code revealed the yet unknown, something peculiar was about to happen in selected places on Earth. Some seemingly out of nowhere, the chosen ones would come together and embark on the biggest adventure of their lifetimes. Spacebudz holders would soon find out, but right now they were still unaware, completely oblivious to their destiny.
That's a nice little tease. Wow.
Yeah. So if you're a Spacebudz holder right now, you're probably seeing this and you're like, fuck yeah, dude, this is what I want. I don't know, season 2 or just whatever. The sky's the limit
for them or something. Yeah,
the sky's the limit for them, because literally, their creator created Nami Wallet. He's built his own marketplace. He, they minted the first CNFT. If he wanted to create a DAO, if he wanted to create anything right now, this guy could do it, pretty much, and he's got the resources to continue to do so. So, the sky's the limit, literally, for these things. They could go anywhere, and I can't imagine him just letting them just go as just. Here you go.
Picture. Yeah, right. Seems like he's always striving for more and bringing more to the space. So yeah, you just can't let it sit and rest.
No, and this animate the little drawing right here alone, and that tells me that there's something on the horizon for these things. I have no idea what, but obviously it's going to be something. That cryptic line of code right there, it's like Spacebudz holders would soon find out, but right now they're still unaware, completely oblivious to their destiny. Like that right there is like, we want to talk a cliffhanger, a teaser, or whatever that is. Like that's insane right there. So that just makes me even more want to FOMO and buy one finally. So I think the only thing that would really get me close real quick right now would be to flip my blue clay in order to get into that. And it's like, what do I want more? Do I want my blue clay or do I want a Spacebud? And that's the dilemma that I fight internally all the time.
That's an impossible decision to make. You just want both. Like you couldn't choose between those. You couldn't. You've had your clay for so long too. You have a special connection to that. That'd be almost impossible to part with, even for something like a Spacebudz. You'd rather get there some other way.
Yeah, definitely not. Like I want to be involved in both projects, and letting go of that to get to here, it just doesn't make sense either, because I minted that on launch for like whatever it was, 48.
48, yeah.
And this I would be buying in at this price. It's just.
It just seems like such a win-lose. Like you'd be happy, like, cool, I got a Spacebud, but man, it sucks not having that clay anymore. Like it just would be almost too impossible to like live with after that.
Man, I love the Spacebudz though, or they've always been something where I wish I knew more about them, because I just don't stay as in the loop on them, because I just like it. Just I'm not involved with it, right? And you always see the people flexing, these things on, their profile page. If somebody's holding this or is this is their PFP, like they just like are held in like a different like kind of like status, the same way with like a clay, or a really good clay. You definitely are right. There's some respect that's built into these things.
Yeah, they're fine. They're flying first class. I'm flying scum class.
Yeah.
We're tailies.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're in the tail.
Oh man. But shout out to Spacebudz in that message, because there's obviously something crazy going on that we have no idea about. They do have the Spacebudz, the clay buds that we talked about from Clay Nation's clay paper. They actually, I think, finalized the design, so there'll be more clay buds as a mix between the two. So if you hold an original clay bud, you're going to be able to get into that next sale. So I don't know. Like I said, the closest we may be getting into these right now is our Angel Baby Hit Squad airdrop over there. That might be the only thing.
Yeah, that'll be my first one for sure. It's close to I'm going to get right now, at least.
Yeah. Well, I'm just wanted to shout that out. That's a crazy part of the news. Shout out to Spacebudz. Shout out to Alessandro. And if you're a holder right now, I'm sure you're pretty happy with that little message. Moving on to something that was out of nowhere for me this past night over here, and didn't really I didn't understand what the hell it was at first, but getting into it,
I hard in it.
I didn't degen hard into it, but I definitely jumped into it. Was Muggos.
How many you meant?
Only 4. Yeah, I only meant to 4. We got in there, but they were only 32 ADA at the time. But these Muggos are, I was talking to somebody inside the space over from the Ghostchain community, and they're like, hey, go check out these Muggo things. And I'm like, what are, they're like, they got a partnership, or they're doing an airdrop with Hornies, that gaming, you've seen the Hornies before, the little racing, you can do the little bull races or whatever they are. And then they are also with Nemo, who's also got their own DAO and the artwork. It's a great community member. He was inside of I think he spoke inside of our CNFT Taco Tuesday. He's an OG inside of space as well.
That's Cardines, right?
I think that might be the same person.
Yeah,
so you got like the Hornies NFT that was over here, and I'm like, oh, hold on. They're partnered up with Hornies, or they got Nemo involved in this. I'm like, I gotta go check these things out. And as I'm looking at them, I'm like, what are, you see these little like characters right here. They remind me almost like Pikmin kind of style back in the day.
They do, yeah.
Like a little bit of like that, I guess. And there was like a little story board over there for it, and it was like Planet Muggo is the name of the stuff. This is what got me excited. When I clicked on the website and I saw this, I was like, okay, this actually looks really clean right now. And it definitely gave me like the Pikmin vibe.
I think like Little Big Planet too when I see them.
You could say that as well.
Sack Boys or whatever they're called. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a mix between the two, but the artwork and the game, it's a game that's going to be coming out. And during this time frame, they had like I guess it was happening since the end of like February until March 7th was what it was. But they had like the Muggo evacuation. So mint a Muggo from to save a Muggo from certain destruction. And what they had this little storyboard, so you can see like the Hornies kind of coming through and saving all the Muggos from like it looks like, you know, like a meteor like destruction, just like apocalypse kind of thing that's happening right now. And then any of these things that weren't saved in that time period were going to be burnt, but they actually ended up selling out. So it was interesting to learn about that. I think that it was kind of cool. I was like inside the Discord and was like, listen, you know, the creators inside of there were kind of describing it. This is back in like I think they were supposed to launch back in like December or something along those lines, and it was like 12/21, and so they meant it like it was like something to do with like 2 and 1. It was like 2,112 or whatever it was at 12/21 on 12/21. Was like the date and the time and the mint like price and stuff. But they just went ahead and explained that. I'm probably, you know, messing up the count on that, but it's just a little over 2,000 of these things that were minted. And they look like this currently inside of the wallet. I think I have, this is one of the ones that has like a little sidekick that I minted right here.
Oh, that's cool.
But they have all these different like traits, and they speed, and they have like all these different stats inside of there, as well as like they have a lot of metadata built into them right now.
They have like ranged weapon stats and like battle stats as well as like strength, digging, climbing, harvesting, health. They're going like all full RPG on here.
Yeah, it looks really nice what they're doing. And so anybody who was able to, there's the only ones that are out right now are the gold and silver ones currently. And then they're going to be future ones that are going to be different colors, but these are like the OGs considered right now, the gold and silver one of these things. And they're going to be turning these things into a 3D, like whoever many you own, they turn into a 3D like airdrop of these things to be used in game. And then I guess I was doing the other day, it's a shiny inside of our Discord. Like he got all like degen into this thing hard, and if you were grinding to level 5, you got what they call swag inside of there. Just like this little like swag pack is what it is, where you got the 3D mixed with whatever the backpack and this thing is. It almost looks like a, you know, yeah, well, it looks like a, you know, like a collectible you'd buy like from like a store. It looks like it's packaged up. Well, it's like a swag pack, and you're going to be able to utilize these things in game. And then if you were to level 10, you got all 4 of them. There's 4 different ones of these things. So Shiny was grinding to level 10 as we were talking about it. And inside of Discord, I wanted to showcase, so like they airdropped into you know, these 3D models here, but wanted to showcase just some of like the modeling and stuff for how it looks so far, even in their little test world. It's definitely interesting, right? They got like a working like model and stuff like that, and things are going on. So this is where I was like, I had no idea what this was. I hadn't heard anything about it, but seeing it and seeing like what they've already got kind of starting to build, it definitely interests me. And it was something unique looking. It's not another like profile pic kind of thing.
I just can't believe, you know, just more again, talking about how fast sometimes the space moves. Like it's just another one that kind of slipped by my radar. It's just one I didn't really pick up on, or I guess missed the times it was being talked about on Twitter and things like that. And until you guys started minting them, I had not heard of them.
Same here with me. I had no idea what they were. It was just something that like got brought up to me by somebody inside the Ghostchain community, and here we are, like just taking a look at it. But it was interesting because, like I said, it popped up out of nowhere. It was something that really caught my eye. That's for sure. They have like a gameplay, they have like a whole planet and everything that they're going to be building in, and I guess, you know, like I said, there's like a game, like a full-on scale game that's being built into this. And I mean, I don't know. I got really excited about it. Like the 3D modeling looked really clean. The fact that they have partnerships, I have to find the Pneumonium thing inside of there, because they definitely, that's what really drew me in. Like if Pneumonium's involved with this too, like at some point, like they're talking about that. Like I was all about that. Oh yeah, like the Pneumonium skull. It's like, oh, Pneumonium, and they just gave the skull. Like those things are super expensive to go ahead and get one of those too. And they got these little Muggos surrounding them. That enough for me was to say, okay, the partnership there's something going on. This isn't just a nobody inside the community. I'm going to go ahead and take my chances with these things right now. So if you want,
like there's like a beta, you can actually play with them, or
they haven't said exactly when you're going to be able to play the actual game itself. Right now they're focused like on like I said, the season 1, phase 1 with these silver and gold Muggos, which are going to be now turned in here in the next few weeks into the 3D like assets of these things. And then from there on, I think they're going to work to continue to get you towards that game. But right now, also, you're going to go ahead and get you that airdrop as well from the Hornies thing as well. Oh, here it is right here. So yeah, if you were able to mint, you were going to get that little airdrop with these guys as well. So I don't know. It was cool. It was something different inside of space. Maybe keep an eye on it. It's nothing, don't do your own research on kind of thing. I'm not telling you to go degen into this at all, because I could be completely wrong on this. But I enjoyed the community jumping in there. I had to grind to level 5 to go ahead and get like my first swag pack inside of there, like I was saying. So I was able to like talk to some of the teammate over there, and they were all super helpful. And Shiny's in there just helping me grind and chatting back and forth. So it was a good time. But definitely shout out to this team, Muggos. Something new.
You going for level 10 now?
No. I think there was only like 112 of these roles or whatever. So
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
I don't know if they finished up right now. But they might have already gotten to the point where I can't even do that anymore. Moving forward over here, adaHandles this weekend.
yeah.
Talking about new
Yeah,
mints finally coming back, throwing it back. Shout out to F35. Freedom 35ers there from the beta for us. We were able to secure this, but this is like obviously a huge, it saved me so much time inside of space. For over here, I know you guys had your own experience with this like during the beta time, because I think I told you about it like, I don't know,
10 hours later.
No, it wasn't that long.
It was a significantly long time after.
It was, I mean, it might have been a decently. I was like, hey guys, by the way, like I had like the OG set on my like TOWMY one. But yeah, no, you were able to get in for the beta last time, but the problem with it was so tough to like, you had to like, I don't know, you had to wait for an email, and you were just like sitting around your phone, and you had like 10 minutes to get in there. Otherwise it like resets you, and it took forever for everybody to go ahead and get in there.
Yeah, you did it at like 1 p.m. in the afternoon. You told us like 9:30. That's when I put my app in. So I'm spending all night checking my phone every hour to see if I got the fucking email.
Well, the crazy thing too is now that this public
They
sale,
learned a little bit, right, from that last one.
Yeah, they went ahead and definitely learned from the last one. This this is now happening on March 12th, which is what, a Saturday that this is happening. I don't know that they've actually announced the actual time of this coming out right now, but basically they've got some changes that have happened. This is the public trial for this. So if anybody knows like the adaHandle, this saves you so much time, especially with like an Yummi or a CC vault or some of these other wallets, when you can actually just type in the $ in front of whatever name it is that you want to name your wallet, instead of having to find the copy paste of the actual long address. It saves, and it helps sometimes, with error too. Like sometimes you have to worry about the last 5 or 4, whatever it is. You just got to worry about the name. So I was able to secure F35 and Freedom 35ers last time, but this time around, if you're still looking to get it, there's still obviously so many different names and things that you can go ahead and grab. I know they're changing a bunch of different stuff up, which one of the first things is now you have a 1 hour access window instead of 30 minutes, which I could have swore it was like 10 minutes last time. You can mint, this is different, unlimited handles. I was only able, I think, to do up to 10, I think last time, or something along those lines, but you can
because the
use
number
3
they
at a
were
time.
doing in general was really limited back then. They were just kind of testing it, right? So that makes more sense. So now they kind of got to know that it works and prove that it works. And now it's like, now everyone can have one.
Oh, sorry. I was wrong on that. You had like a 10-minute window or a 15-minute window to get once you got the email, but inside of that, I had 30 minutes to mint as many as I wanted to inside of that. And you had the pending transaction. So I only had 30 minutes. Now you have an hour to get in there and mint as many as you want. So if you're looking to mint like all these different crazy names, like make sure you got your like name list already thought out ahead of time. Is what I was doing. I was like, everyone that I could think of. And then I was like, what would be a good name to go ahead and do right now? So definitely make sure you have that ahead of time. And then each handle has 4 hours for the payment to confirm. So that way you don't got to really worry as much about not receiving your handle. And then queue changes is different a little bit, I guess, too. Because remember, it was the email mechanism that was out there. Like people are going to the spam folder. There's 10,000 access links every minute now that they're throttling. So you receive an access code within 10 minutes. Hopefully. Compared to where it was before. They migrated to generating their own access codes. That's increasing the validity of those access codes links to 1 hour instead of 10 minutes used during the beta sale. And then one of the bigger things too was the price change on here. Most of the stuff, it was, I forget over how many characters, like it was over like 5 or 6 characters. It was only 10 ADA. They gave you like a kind of a classic pricing over here. But it was basically, you had a basic thing, and then the shorter the amount of characters, the more higher the price increased at the time. So I think like the highest, most ultra rare one was like 1 character. And at that time, it was like a unknown price. And then anything like 2 or whatever was like 500 ADA at the time. But the price of like ADA over here now currently, they've actually increased the rates of what you're actually going to be having to spend depending on. So if today's price held to get to ultra rare, it's now 745 ADA versus the 500 or whatever it was back in the day.
That makes sense though.
Yeah. So, and most of the stuff that I was doing anyway was like 10 ADA at the time. So worst case scenario, if ADA drops below today's price, you'd be 15 ADA instead of that, which really isn't bad. And it just saves you so much time, dude. So I know you're going to be out there now getting your lazy tea and.
Well, I just hope I can do it on my phone because I'm not going to be home that this weekend.
Oh yeah, I hope so. I don't know if that's going to be the case. I don't know if that's going to work really. Because
was there a limit on the amount of characters you could do? There has to be, right?
Yeah, there was. I forget what the actual.
Like with the other Tom fit, or would like I have to go with?
I
like
think you might be able
or lavish bear.
I think you can get away with that.
www.creedthoughts.creedthoughts.
Freakingcage.com.
There we go. Freakingcage.com. Yeah.
I think there definitely is a character limit to it. I just don't know what the total is on that. I just know that this is obviously something you definitely want to get inside the Cardano community, especially for at least one of your wallets. Like even if it's something dumb, like just go ahead and mint like an adaHandle out there. So that way it saves yourself time. It's like, hey, send it to my wallet. It's whatever, F35 to us. So if anybody's listening and wants to send something fun,
Ariana Grande,
some Pernus tokens over to the F35 wallet. Yo, Con Bob out there for the throwbacks, the Gooch out there, Bear, Lavish Bear, Finer Rocket, all the throwback names. But yeah, shout out to adaHandle March 12th. Maybe I'll get in this time. Maybe I won't. I might try to grab a couple. Actually, I'll be out of town this weekend. Fuck.
I'm at least going for mine for my wallet.
Yeah, you need to at least have something like that, right? Yeah,
it's shouldn't be too bad. 8 a time for mine.
Yeah.
Rip. Another new drop that's happening this weekend, on March 12th as well, is JukeBoys. This is something we've kind of had an eye on. They're in the club right now currently, just listening to some music. But they're a new collection of music and pop culture, kind of bringing a new wave to Cardano. Yeah. They had what's those things though, like the pop, what is it, pop dolls, or what the hell those things are called? I forget the name.
Damn, it's pop something.
Not pop art. It's like pop. So I forgot.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they have like all the Marvel ones. They have all the Game of Thrones ones. Like they're huge. They have all those lines.
Pop dolls.
Funko Pops. The Funko Pops.
Funko Pop. That's right. Yep.
What they reminded me of, that's true. They are actually a lot like that. Because what I was thinking is they reminded me of like Lego Men. Like they just had that circular head like a Lego guy has.
Yeah.
Just like the shape of it.
Well, do you some of these? I haven't seen some of these other ones. I've always seen like the human one.
That one, very basic ones. Yeah,
the robot one looks actually dope as hell.
Yeah,
I really enjoy that one right there. Other than that, I mean, they have some cool looking ones, and there's some zombies, different things. I guess they're combining like I said, music and like pop culture inside of this. I do have like their website up here, and I think someone back in the day from the team reached out, and we never ended up connecting out of there. So hopefully we'll see what happens with these guys. I know. This is 5,000 of these things, and all there's 60 ADA over there for the public drop. So again, not too expensive when it comes.
You've had them on your list for a bit, right, TJ?
Oh yeah, I've been there for a while now.
Yeah, I think I just jumped in actually. This is again, TJ always has his like projects over here, and it's definitely more of the TJ project, I'd say, in our realm of things. But music and pop culture seems to be like what these things are focused around. They have like they obviously they have a bunch of points on here, but not a super detailed, like in-depth roadmap. It's just mainly they're doing like a website, creating 3D trades, Discord, sell basically, and then token preview, ownership, wallet verification, marketing, collabs, token drop, utility. I don't know what the utility is. So I guess we'll wait and find out. So it looks like they got a little more stuff to flesh out on the roadmap.
Future investors, maybe,
possibly.
Utility.
Yeah, right.
I do like the look of them. They're not bad. Like it's a little bit different. It kind of has that like smooth 3D colorful look. We've seen a lot of colorful stuff, but the overall shape of the bodies and stuff a little bit different. They do look clean though.
Yeah, I like you said, the Funko Pop kind of thing. It's definitely that style. They would work well as a PFP. Again, it's gonna be nowadays. It's like, what do you like trying to sell? That's actually a really cool looking one.
Sick.
I enjoy that. Was that based off another project? Because that looks like another project. Moon Boy. Yeah, the Melting Moon Boy, which I
Okay.
think we've seen. I haven't talked about that at all yet, but that's a really cool looking one as well. So shout out to these guys and this team.
I'm gonna be following them for the hype. I think, like, if I can see enough people are pushing this and they're selling well, I might try and sneak in for a flip opportunity, even in this market we're currently in. But that's going to be a real cautious watch because of the market. I don't know if that's something that'll.
It's tough to mint right now. I can definitely tell you. So if you're a mint dropping right now, that's definitely a tough time to be in that time frame.
And as much
where
as
we're at.
Yeah, like the art looks good, but it's kind of one of those things where they don't have a lot of the future explained. And if they're not able to beat out their mint price early or kind of have a market for flipping early after mint, with how the market just is in general, they may get, 2 weeks go by and that's the end of that. They're not getting back up. They don't have the kind of legs behind them to get back over mint. So I'll definitely be watching it though. If people get excited about them enough, I might try and sneak in one just to get some people at FOMO. We'll see what happens. So,
like I said, it's one thing to mint in this time frame. It's another if you do mint, obviously it's been hard to flip right now. So if you're definitely trying to get in, hopefully you're comfortable enough hanging in there for the long term in case it doesn't go the way you think it is and you're not there just to make a quick little flip on these things. But I mean, obviously we'll see how they do. They're definitely interesting looking. I think the artwork looks clean. We'll see how they flesh out that actual roadmap after release. So yeah, March 12th.
I like the piano teeth a lot.
Yeah, the piano teeth. They have some cool traits on there. And that one robot one that we showed, the robot looked really well.
So wait, there's Saturday too. They're March 12th as well.
Yep, March 12th.
So we got them, adaHandles, and BlockOwls all coming up this Saturday. I got a busy weekend, and you guys are both gone.
I know. This guy, Tom's gonna be the one reaping all the benefits over here.
Yeah.
Well, in the meantime,
you guys want me to help you out? 5 ADA per.
That's fine.
Well,
I say 5, I'm at 50.
The mint price for this stuff too also is pretty much not up. I guess they haven't released it yet. Yeah, they haven't actually released the mint time. It's all TBD right now. So shout out to that JukeBoys over there.
JukeBoys.
One of the last things over here wrapping up on the back end is we got a chance last week, and hopefully the video's out now, of Cardopoly. We got a chance to sit down with Bobby and Drex from that team out there. If you haven't already, we'll go ahead and we'll make sure that link in that video is in the description from Cardopoly, the classic board game, as they like to describe it.
On it, right? Yeah, the blockchain take on that classic board game.
Monopoly, if you can't get on that. Cardopoly, Monopoly, same thing, but basically they're building
it's Monopoly. I thought they were talking about Trouble the whole time.
I thought it was Sorry.
What about Hungry Hippos?
Don't Wake Daddy.
No way.
No, these guys are they're super nice, man. I had a great time getting a chance to chat with Bobby and with Drex. So that gameplay, if you haven't already, go ahead and check that out. They're building some really cool things over there. That board just got released as far as what they're trying to do. I think the possibilities for what a board game on a blockchain can do are endless for what they have kind of in store. They have some cool partnerships that they were talking about, and just the fact you can get airdrops possibly by playing in that game board just randomly throughout different times of the year. I think that's super interesting, outside of just being able to play a game on the blockchain itself. So
it's definitely great to sit with them just to hear more in depth about the projects. I'm excited to see what goes on with that one.
Yeah. I was, a board game. It was cool because I like those. I just like projects that bring something a little new or creative, at least to Cardano, like something we haven't seen in other projects. Nothing against profile picture projects too. There's still some I get into, but it does get you a little bit more excited when you see something that's brand new and you get to really kind of take a deep dive and learn about it, and then getting to sit down with them and go listen to that sit down, definitely, because there's a whole lot of information. But hearing some of the structures for the prize money and how the seasons or the games will how long they'll last, it really sounds like they've thought this out well, because the prizes and stuff they have set up can really bring people back and also help fund them to keep moving forward and take it to even further places.
Oh, yeah, you can also make ADA for winning throughout the weekly leaderboards. And then shout out to Drex too, dude. That guy's super talented. They worked with the Dirtbirds team to go ahead and get, the multi-sig tech into their website to be able to mint directly. I think they have less than about 200 pieces here. So I don't know, maybe by the time this mints, if you haven't already, go pick up one. They're 80 ADA over on the website. There's only 750 pieces, and that's for that season 1, like initial drop. I know season 2, they got some really cool things in the works that we talked about there as well. So shout out to Bobby and Drex for jumping onto the show. It's been a long time coming, and we had a great time just chatting with those guys.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
But yeah, guys, so wrapping up officially the back end right now. It is Freedom After Dark. It is 1 a.m. here on. We start on Wednesdays. We end on
school
Thursdays.
night.
School nights get really rough. The Thursdays these days, I'm like half asleep these days because we're up here late working. And this week has been busy with work. Man.
IV drip of coffee.
Yeah. Dude, it's been crazy busy with work and stuff like this. So trying to find a time to go ahead and do all our research and do all this stuff. It's been very this week's been a lot.
I feel like I'm cramming in college again. Like,
dude, right?
Doing my daily stuff and then like staying up all night studying.
It's definitely that feeling right now. But you also feel the effects of like, can you imagine if we had like this as our full-time like opportunity? This is all we did. Like,
I would love that, because we could do this like in the morning time or something, or midday.
Just
we
would chat.
First coffee in the morning.
Sipping the coffee.
I don't think these guys could handle that energy.
Oh, we'd have some crazy shit going on.
Yeah,
we have the content for that. But that's what Freedom 35 is all about, right? We're gonna eventually get there one day, and we'll chat with you guys. Outside of just being on the night shift, the graveyard shift, the Freedom After Dark shift. And then there's some other things too. I know we have the Discord opened up right now. Obviously, the drop, the giveaway that we have going on with Ghostchain and Project 2090. Go ahead, if you're not already subscribed, make sure you're clicking on that. As soon as we hit 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel, somebody will get a nice Ghostchain, which is valued over 700 ADA right now. So
make sure you smash that like button.
Subscribe, the likes help. We're YouTubers, podcast is all kind of things. But we appreciate everybody's support out there. It's been awesome. Thanks again to Slick and Lim for help setting up that giveaway. Shout out to the guys from Cardopoly, Bobby and Drex, for sitting down with us this week. And shout out to everybody in the Discord, man. We appreciate everybody's, our main guys out there just popping there, saying hi, and just chatting with us, man. We'd love to continue to grow our community. And I think, I think we need to do a game night here soon, guys. So maybe we'll throw a poll up in there with some options, and we'll see. We can set that up here recently.
That's what we need to see, what games people are actually interested in maybe getting into with us, because I don't want to just be like, me and Tommy playing Rocket League.
If we got some Rocket League players, let me know. I know there's a couple inside the community that are down. Maybe we'll find players. Some. Yeah, we get some Tarkov boys. You get some. I don't know what else you're playing now, Tom, but Elden Ring or something like that.
Well, that's more single kind of solo stuff. But yeah,
I'm out the game. I'm out the game. Well, again, we appreciate everybody listening tonight. Freedom After Dark. We'll catch you guys next week on the next episode of Freedom 35.
Freedom 35, baby.
Peace.